Prepare, guys, prepare.
Last time I had a run-in with the bat was months ago, during that whole Protocol 10 thing. Man, that's a while back. He took a bunch
Hey
of us
guys,
down
welcome back to
inside the
Batman
mall.
Arkham Knight. This is the final video of Batman. Final video of Batman Arkham Knight. For me, it's been a wondrous experience to play this game. First getting it for the PS4. Now, if you've seen my walkthrough and the last Batman Arkham video, you'll know that there are several block scenes in this game, which is one of the major disappointments that you couldn't see the full story. But this game's story is pretty predictable, aside from the ending, which is kind of mysterious. But overall than that, it's still a great game to play, and I've had fun gathering it and redoing it for the second time, 100%. So without further ado, let's begin. And the interview tapes, bios, and of course the evidence room. Now I'm going to try and get all of them done, because if you've seen my Arkham Asylum one, you'll know that I didn't get it all done. I made sure to check if I did Arkham City, and I think I have, because I've got a video for it. So, with that being said, guys, let's begin. Right. First thing we're gonna do. First thing I'm gonna do is decide what I want to do first. So give me a sec, guys. It's kind of... I was wondering what option to do. If I can find what I'm looking for, I'll know a bit better. Maybe I didn't make that. No, I swear I did, just can't find it. Yep. Arkham City, bios, tapes, and all that stuff. I did do that. I'm pretty sure I did the Arkham Asylum one. I just need to remember where I put it. Yeah. Okay, so this is it. Yeah, I just need to check if I did the bios and tapes for all three games, and I have, so that's awesome. Alright guys, let's not waste any more of your time and begin the long-awaited bios, tapes, and of course evidence room. First things first, the bios! Here it is, there's the story section. We're going to go to the character section real quick. Oh, I'm missing one. Alright. That's not a problem, guys. I can just leave the game and go to my original account and you'll see it all. So if I go back, there we go. Alright, checking on. Okay, let's try that again. So, let's see which interview tape I was missing. Lucius Fox. Alright, anyway guys, let's get on with this. So here, let's start off with Aaron Cash. Real name, Aaron Cash. Occupation, GCPD officer, based in Gotham City. Eye color brown, hair color black, height 6 feet, weight 200 pounds. First appearance, Arkham Asylum, Living Hell, number 1, July 2003. Wrong button. What? Here we go. Bio. A Gothamite through and through, Aaron Cash has spent his entire working life serving the city's law enforcement and security services. He rose to become one of the most senior and respected guards of Arkham Asylum, which was also where he suffered a violent attack by Killer Croc, resulting in the loss of his hand and a long-standing hatred on the villainous creature. He is trusted friend of both Batman and Commissioner Gordon, who, following the closure of Arkham City, resonated him back to GCPD, where he started his career. Moving along, of course, attributes: missing left hand, really, proficiency with firearms, and great physical strength. Awesome. Okay, moving along with Albert King. Real name, Albert King. Occupation, heavyweight boxer, based in Gotham City. Eye color brown, hair color black, height 6 feet 7 inches, weight 284 pounds. First appearance, Batman Arkham Knight, June 2015. Bio: Albert King, aka the Gotham Goliath, is a legendary prime. You might as well call him just go to real name and call him oh yeah, maybe they did that. Anyway, Albert King, aka the Gotham Goliath, is a legendary prize fighter with the most consecutive knockouts, since records began. Days before his testimonial fight, King checked him into Gotham General for a routine procedure, only to become infected with Joker's mutated blood, hospitalizing his entire family in a fit of rage. King appears to have taken on the more violent and sadistic aspects of Joker's personality. Highly proficiency fighter, superhuman strength, and uncontrollable rage. Moving along with Alfred. Alright, real name, Alfred Pennyworth. Occupation, butler, based in Gotham City. Eye color blue, hair color grey, formerly black. Really? I thought it'd be formerly brown. Height 6 feet, weight 160 pounds. First appearance, Batman number 16, May 1943. Alfred. After a varied career, Alfred Pennyworth was employed in the Wayne family's butler. When Bruce Wayne's parents were killed, Alfred raised the young orphan and reluctantly aided him in his quest to become the Batman. Alfred's many skills, ranging from cooking to combat medicine, make him Batman's staunchest ally, and his formal demeanor helps ground the Dark Knight and deflect those who might otherwise suspect Bruce Wayne's true identity. Skilled actor, trained in emergency medical techniques, proficiency with mechanical and computer systems, expert in domestic sciences, and unflappable manner. Moving right along, we've got none other than the mysterious character known as the Arkham Knight. And he's our first character with interview tapes. Real name, well, unknown. You might as well put Jason Todd there, because everyone knows at this point. Real name, Jason Todd. Occupation, military commander, based in unknown. Eye color unknown. Hair color unknown. Height 6 feet. Weight 200 pounds. First appearance, Batman Arkham Knight, June 2015. Besides the discovery of the militia training facility in South America, virtually nothing is known of the Arkham Knight until his arrival in Gotham, where he quickly earned himself a fearless reputation amongst the city's leading criminals. Working together with Scarecrow, he was sworn to kill Batman and will stop at nothing until he is dead. Expert knowledge of Batman's tactics and fighting style, highly skilled military tactician, robotically synthesized voice.
Patient note. Gordon, Barbara, session 1. Wake up, Miss Gordon. Wake up. Inject her. Another dose.
I'm awake, you bastard.
Good. Who is Batman?
Ask him when he gets here.
Thank you, Miss Gordon. I was afraid that my preferred interrogation method would not be necessary. Do you know why I wear these syringes on my hands?
Because because you're insane?
I usually disperse my toxin as an aerosol. It's efficient, but not pure. Now the terror I can elicit with a concentrated dose administered directly into the bloodstream. That is beautiful to witness. The long-term damage is more severe, of course.
Are you done talking?
I am. But you have barely begun. You'll be incoherent when my toxin dissolves the wall between your conscious mind and your suppressed subconscious nightmare. But as those fears slowly recede, they'll take this pathetic defiance with them.
You're still talking.
Very well. Take their soul away from her.
I wonder how those scenes would have played out. Moving right along.
He's gone. Did he hurt you?
Spare me the good cop, bad cop routine.
No. You're supposed to keep me talking. Play for time. Wait for Batman. That's what he taught you, right?
I've got nothing to say to you.
Me? I talked for hours. Because I knew, right? Batman was on his way to save me. The bastard let me talk. Eventually I just ran out of things to say. So trust me. You can't count on Bruce to save you.
Bruce.
Yeah, Scarecrow doesn't know. It's our little secret. Now here's another. Batman likes to play the hero, Barbara, and he's pretty good at it. But it's an act. Batman's not about saving the innocent. No, he's about punishing the guilty. And don't get me wrong. That would for you, or don't try. But when it comes down to it, when you have to make a choice between you and the mission, you'll choose the mission. Every time.
You're wrong.
Look me in the eye and say that.
Jason? Jason, this is wrong.
This is justice. He left me.
He lost you. And he mourns for you. Come home.
I can't go back. You don't know what Joker did, Barbara. He hollowed me out and filled me back up with hate.
Jason, we can fix it.
I can fix it! I know now what to do. I take all this pain, all this blackness, and I put it all in a bullet, and I put it right between Bruce's eyes.
Joker's dead, Jason. You want revenge on the man who hurt you? You've got one shot. Come back to the manor. Let us help you. Don't let Joker win.
How's Alpha?
He misses you. We all do.
The Cloudburst is charged tonight. It's time. Someone put a gun on her. Anyone hurts her, they're a dead man.
Welcome to the live stream. We are doing the bios, interview tapes, and much more of the awesomeness of Batman Arkham Knight. We've just done a few characters so far, and we're carrying on. So enjoy the awesomeness as we move on to Azrael. Here we go. Real name, Michael Lane. Occupation, police officer. Based in Gotham City. Eye color brown, hair color black. Height 6 feet 2 inches. Weight at 210 pounds. First appearance, Azrael's Death, Dark Knight #1, March 2009. Years ago, Michael Lane was part of a program to create the ultimate crime fighter. Instead, it turned him into an insane criminal. Thwarted by Batman, Michael confessed his sins to a priest of the secret religious sect, the Order of Saint Dumas. They recruited Michael to fight evil as their crusader, Azrael, wearing the mystical suit of Sorrows, and wielding the sword of sin. In Arkham City, Azrael can't pronounce this right. Prophesies Batman's downfall. Having studied the Dark Knight's fighting style, Azrael sees himself as the Capes Crusader's natural successor, and that's why he wants to take over as Batman. Pursuit of Sorrows bestows enhanced strength, stamina, and speed. The sword of sin burns with the souls of the damned. Prone to fits of insanity, military and police trained tactician. Moving right along with none other than the Caped Crusader himself, Batman. Real name Bruce Wayne Occupation, world's greatest detective. Based in Gotham City, eye color blue, hair color black, height 6 feet 2 inches, weight 210 pounds. First appearance, Detective Comics, number 27, May 1939. Whew. Moving right along. When his parents were gunned down in front of him, young Bruce Wayne resolved to rid Gotham City of the criminal element that took their lives. He trained extensively to achieve mental and physical perfection, in addition to mastering martial arts, detective techniques, and criminal psychology. Dressing as a bat to prey on criminals' fears, Batman fights crime with the aid of specialized gadgets and vehicles, operating out of the secret Batcave below Wayne Manor. Following the events of Arkham City, many of Gotham's citizens are convinced that Batman broke his defying rule by killing his arch-nemesis, the Joker. Trained to physical and mental peak, arsenal of gadgets, vehicles, and advanced technology, inventor, detective, genius-level intelligence, and expert in most known forms of martial arts, trained in all aspects of criminology. Whew. Then, of course, his counterpart, Bruce Wayne. Real name, Bruce Wayne. Occupation, CEO/philanthropist. Based in Gotham City, eye color blue, hair color black, 6 feet 2 inches, 210 pounds for weight. Detective Comics number 27 for his first appearance, May 1939. And, of course, born into the wealthy Wayne family, Bruce Wayne has had a idealistic childhood, but after witnessing his parents violently murdered in Crime Alley, Bruce dedicated his life to battling criminals. He circled the globe for years, training from his mental and physical abilities to their peak. Gotham City welcomed him home, not knowing that his high society's favorite billionaire playboy is also the Batman, you know. Following the Arkham City debacle and the prison's subsequent colossus, Bruce Wayne once again came to Gotham's rescue, footing the bill for its extensive redevelopment. Billionaire playboy by day, Batman by night. Gotham's most eligible bachelor. Moving right along to, yes, Catwoman. Let's move right along. Alright, real name Selena Kyle, professional thief. Occupation, of course. Based in Gotham City, eye color green, hair color black, height 5 feet 7 inches, weight 125 pounds. First appearance, Batman number 1, spring 1940. That would be around the Second War. An orphan who learned to survive on the streets of Gotham, Selena Kyle turned to thievery to survive, determined to do it with style. She learned martial arts and trained in gymnastics to perfect her skills. Her criminal activities are tempered by a reluctant altruism, making her an inconsistent villain and an occasional hero. She maintains a complicated adversarial relationship with the Batman that frequently turns flirtatious and occasionally romantic. Little is known about her movements since the closure of Arkham City, but a string of high-profile burglaries suggests she is still at large in Gotham. And we know where eventually. Trained gymnast and athlete, expert hand-to-hand combatant, highly skilled with whips, unrivaled stealth capabilities, obsessed with stealing famous and well-protected items, mainly Catwoman's if you think about it. Moving right along with Christina Bell. Real name Christina Bell. Occupation executive director, Queen Industries. Queen Industries? Isn't that a Green Arrow's company? Based in Star City, eye color blue, hair color brown, height 5 feet 9 inches, weight 145 pounds. First appearance, Batman Arkham Knight, June 2015. After a successful career in finance, can't speak today. Christine recently joined the board of directors of Queen Industries in Star City during a blood transfusion following a miscarriage. Christine was exposed to Joker's Titan-infected blood. On returning to work, she took a knife to the board meeting and brutally murdered 11 senior executives, carving smiles in her victims' faces. Christine has adopted several facts of Joker's personality, notably his obsession with Batman. So Albert King is like the psychological one, where he does all this psychotic stuff physically. This one is, what was it? Yeah, this one is the one that's obsessed with Batman with the mental head. And moving right along, expert business acumen, violent obsession with Batman, highly unpredictable. Maybe this one's the closest to Batman than I probably imagined. Deacon Blackfire, moving right along. Am I on the right one? Yeah, Deacon Blackfire. Alright, he's got interview tapes, and like 6 of them too. Alright. Real name, Joseph Blackfire. Occupation, cult leader. Based in Gotham City. Eye color grey, hair color white. Height 6 feet 1 inch. Weight 170 pounds. First appearance, Batman, The Cult, number 1, August 1988. A power-crazed, charismatic con man and cult leader, Deacon Blackfire indoctrinates Gotham's homeless population to serve in his cult and aid him in his quest to control Gotham. Blackfire claims to be over 100 years old, a Native American shaman who was entombed alive after being found guilty of killing a tribal chief and committing heresy. He claims the secret to his eternal youth is bathing in the bucket of human blood, and he uses his charm and powers of manipulation to brainwash an army of devout followers to provide victims for his sacrifices. So he's sort of like a weaker version of Ra's al Ghul, I guess. Charismatic cult leader, impassionate public speaker, claims to be immortal, but he's probably not. Alright, let's go on the interview tapes, and they got 6 to do.
Tape 8, October 15th. Still no sign of the preacher. No records, nothing. Something tells me he won't stay hidden for long.
For the Lord hath designed a most cruel and dark place. Yes, he has. It's where we put the heathen, the guilty men and women in his pavilion of pain, where lakes of fire burn and hot coals fall as hailstones from a black sky. You see, Gotham's days are numbered. I've seen it. He's shown it to me. He's shown me the fire. He's shown me the bodies writhing in flames. 'Cause that's what's waiting for you. You who don't accept me into your heart. I am the messenger of truth. For the Lord hath anointed me with his sacred oil. He hath separated me above all others, and promised me and my children their rightful place in the new kingdom. Yeah, that's right. You will be made princes of all the earth. Amen.
Tape 11, October 19th. Going back over some old interviews I did on Gotham's homeless. Numbers were dropping. No one knew why. I think there might have been a link to Blackfire.
My name's Terry Noonan. I worked the sewers best part of 20 years. You name it, I've seen it. Walls are fat so thick they swallow you up. Rats as big as dogs. Enough teeth and hair to give you nightmares. It's a different world down there.
I understand you've got a theory, Mr. Noonan.
Terry, please.
Some people like to think the homeless are disappearing because Gotham's pulling them out of the gutter. But you think different?
I've heard things. Strange things. Voices. Chanting.
Chanting?
Like church. It's been like this for months. I hear it more often, and it's getting louder.
Have you ever tried to find it?
Hey, I ain't stupid. Besides, none of my business. If you were smart, you'd think the same.
8/23, October 26th. I was searching the archives, and this little gem cropped up. Cops arrest a vagrant who's had a run-in with Blackfire. Guess we're starting to get some idea what this whack job's been up to.
Was that all on tape 3? Really? I'm just going to play tape 3 back to see if that was everything.
8/23, October 26th. I was searching the archives, and this little gem cropped up. Cops arrest a vagrant who's had a run-in with Blackfire. Guess we're starting to get some idea what this whack job's been up to.
Please state your name.
I haven't got a name. Not anymore. We're his children. His disciples.
Who?
Deacon Blackfire. The one true messenger. redeemer. He can save Gotham. He can save us all.
Well, he sounds like a nice guy.
You mock me, you fool. You don't know the power you're dealing with.
Okay, why don't you tell me?
1,000 years he has walked the earth, and 1,000 more he will reign. You're smiling. You think I'm crazy.
Hey, you're free to believe whatever you want.
I doubted him too once, and then I saw it. The blood is his power. He bathes in it.
And I'm sure he does.
You can see it in their eyes when he draws the blade across their throat. They see it then. The light.
Okay, buddy, take it easy.
I have to leave. We have work to do. The final sacrifice is coming. It will grant him everlasting life.
Hey, sit down. Restrain him.
Get off me.
An army of homeless killers? Human sacrifices? Bathing in blood? I hope they're planning another sacrifice. You can't win the awards without a little human tragedy.
So it looks like I did miss on some of the footage of the tape, so I did go back to see the rest of it, but yeah. Moving on to tape number 4.
Tape 25, October 30th. Got my hands on this forensic report. Human sacrifice. It's real. They're really happening.
The deceased M. Hollis, located in the abandoned premises, front-facing room to Hammond Close. Male, 33 years, approximately 6 feet, 210 pounds, brown hair. Found lying face up on a table central to the room. Contusions on the wrist and ankle, indicating the victim was restrained with a thick cord or rope. The neck has been cut, deep incision severing the esophagus and main arteries. The body appears to have been drained of blood. Victim is naked. Clothes have been burned as well as personal effects. No sign of murder weapon. Symbols have been drawn onto the walls in victim's blood. Photographs logged. Scene secured by Detective Russo at 2100 hours.
Something big's happening. Blackfire's here, I know it. He wants that final sacrifice, but where? I need that last piece of the puzzle, then bam! Son of a bitch is mine.
That'd be interesting. I bet maybe he's probably the last sacrifice.
A big piece of the puzzle just fell into place. Lady of Gotham. That's where it's going down. I couldn't wait for you, Batman. Sorry. This one's too important to miss.
Well, short tape. So he is the last one.
Guess you're wondering what the Lady of Gotham connection is. Turns out there was a Blackfire tied up with the Miyagani people. His name crops up in tribal stories. Seems like they shot him with arrows. Shut him in a cave. You want to know where that cave is supposed to be? You got it. Directly beneath the Lady of Gotham. Looks like the irony didn't escape our preacher. Cash ran this guy's prints. Turns out he's got a past. Tax evasion, fraud. One file dates back to the 20s. Cash thinks it's got to be a mistake. Part of me wishes Blackfire was telling the truth. Guess we all want to believe, huh? Too bad he's just another con man.
And that's the tapes of Deacon Blackfire. Or morely, it was less of Jack Ryder telling us his story. Moving on to Deathstroke, awesome character. Real name, Slade Wilson. Occupation, mercenary, based in mobile, as in he can go anywhere he likes. Eye color blue, hair color grey, height 6 feet 5 inches, weight 225 pounds. First appearance, New Teen Titans #2, December 1980. Originally a soldier in the US Army, Slade Wilson was part of an experimental super soldier program where he gained enhanced strength, agility, and intelligence. Deathstroke became a mercenary soon after the experiment and rapidly gained a reputation as one of the world's greatest assassins, following, or in my personal opinion, the greatest assassin in Gotham. That's just my opinion, though. Following his defeat and incarceration at the hands of Batman, Deathstroke escaped from the maximum security wing of Blackgate Penitentiary and continued working as a gun for hire, hoping that one day he'd get another shot at his nemesis. Oh my, yeah, another guy who thinks he's his nemesis. Physically, I'd probably say he might be. Because we do get a lot of smart guys going after Batman for his mind than his physical traits. So maybe Deathstroke is that type of character. Medically enhanced physical and mental abilities, master tactician and combat expert, and missing his right eye. Moving right along to Chief Underhill. Real name, Raymond Underhill. Occupation, Fire Chief. Based in Gotham City, eye color brown, hair color black, height 6 feet, weight 190 pounds. First appearance, Batman Arkham Knight, June 2015. Born and raised in Gotham City, Ray Underhill's life began tragically when his mother died in the childbirth. It was then left to his father to take care of him, a highly decorated firefighter and Station 17 fire chief. The fire chief became Ray's home, and the firefighters who worked there his family. It was a special bond that drove Ray to one day succeed his father at the station as the station chief, and became a well-respected firefighter in his own right. Post Arkham City, facing in cutbacks and redundancies, Ray was determined to do whatever he could to protect his family and the station he still calls home. Yeah, anything. Extensive knowledge of fire protection, driven to help others. Pretty simple, pretty basic. Moving right along to Firefly. Real name, Garfield Lynns. Occupation, serial arsonist. I would have put pyromaniac. Yeah, based in, well, he's mobile. Eye color brown, hair color formerly brown. Height 5 feet 11 inches, weight 165 pounds. First appearance, Detective Comics number 184, June 1952. Garfield Lynns was a special effects artist and pyrotechnic expert in the motion pictures industry before he was made redundant and forced into poverty. Lynns became a petty criminal and serial arsonist, torching huge swathes of Gotham City to feed his pyromania. After settling his ire to a chemical plant, Lynns was caught in the blaze and suffered burns to 90% of his body, leaving him hideously scarred. Upon his recovery, Lynns designed a custom battlesuit featuring a military-grade flamethrower and jetpack. So that's how he gets the look in Arkham City. Expert in pyrokinetics and explosives, pyromechanic, and battlesuit equipped with a flamethrower and jetpack. Moving right along to James Gordon. Jim Gordon? James? What are you gonna go with? Real name, James W. Gordon. Occupation, police commissioner. Based in Gotham City. Eye color blue. Hair color white, formerly brown. Height 6 feet. Weight 180 pounds. First appearance, Detective Comics number 27, May 1939. Police Commissioner James W. Gordon dedicated his career to cleaning up the corruption in Gotham City Police Department, a goal he has come a long way towards accomplishing. He has been equally tough on crime and in the pursuit of making Gotham City safe for all his citizens. Gordon has forged an uneasy alliance with Gotham's other top crime fighter, the mysterious vigilante known as Batman. Since the closure of Arkham City and the death of the Joker, Gordon has overseen a period of relative calm in Gotham. With crime steadily declining on the back of these successes, many see Gordon as a prime candidate to become the city's next mayor, which he eventually does become. Experienced police officer, trained criminologist, proficient to hand-to-hand fighting, expert marksman. Really? Didn't know that. Moving on to Harley Quinn. Real name, Dr. Harleen F. Quinzel. I'm not going to question what the F stands for. Occupation, personal criminal, based in Gotham City, eye color blue, hair color blonde, height 5 feet 7 inches, weight 140 pounds. First appearance, Batman and Batman Adventures number 12, September 1993. I wonder if that's a comic book, because her first appearance was in the 1990 show. So maybe, yeah. So that's probably her first comic appearance. An Arkham Asylum psychiatrist assigned to treat the Joker, Dr. Harleen Quinzel, instead became obsessively fixated on her patient, believing herself to be in love with him. She helped him escape and took on her own criminal identity as Harley Quinn, a violent and unpredictable felon whose only motivation was achieving the Joker's approval. Because of his cruel and mercurial nature, this is some ways has made her just another one of his victims, albeit a very dangerous one. Since her ill-fated attempt to avenge her lover's death in Arkham City, Harley is rumored to have assumed control of Joker's criminal gang and begun plotting another attack on the man she holds responsible, Batman. As you do. Surprising strength and stamina, superior gymnastic skills, total disregard for human life. Moving on to her tapes.
Who's there?
It's Mr. Adams. We spoke on the phone.
Oh, come in, but slowly, and keep your hands up.
Thank you for agreeing to see me, Miss Quinzel.
Well, you said you know something about Mr. J. Start talking.
Well, it's not every day I have a gun pointed at my face. It's rather exciting, isn't it?
You got about 2 seconds before I blow your wrinkly old brains out. What's so funny?
I'm just remembering an old joker. Oh, sorry. I meant joke.
I don't listen to jokes no more.
What's red and flat? A baby under an anvil. Why couldn't the policeman catch the thief? Because his legs have been cut off. A father takes his family to the amusement park. They all die in a car crash on the way home.
You're real funny. You know, I ain't laughed like that since. I miss my twins.
Oh, poor Harley. I've missed you too.
It's very twisted, isn't it? How Henry Adams is the Joker, but is he the same Joker? Or is it just another twisted thing? It's very screwed up. Before we move on, I must say that Harley Quinn's new voice actor, of course, Tara Strong, even though she's not on in circuit, people they still miss their that version. I will say that Tara Strong, I do know she actually did try to really closely mimic the voice of. She tried to mimic the voice of Tara Strong. No, Tara Strong tried to mimic the voice of Harley Quinn, and that's why she chose to go that. So she was going to try and mimic Arlie Circuit's voice, but they told her not to. Be your own person. Yeah, that was it. And she stuck with that, and that's why you get the voice you get now. Because they wanted her to be her own person, and then try to mimic someone else. Because I think Tara Strong knew that she was the best, because that character was based on her, but they wanted her to be her own thing. Well, so I guess it's kind of decent respect. Moving on to tape number 2. Sorry for that little wait.
Patient interview, October 15th. Please state your name.
Henry Adams. What is this place, Batman? Where am I?
You're here for your own safety, Henry. You could be sick.
Sick? I've never felt better in my whole life.
You're sure? No mood swings, behavioral changes.
Absolutely not. Those people in the other cell. Who are they?
Their blood was contaminated. Like yours.
What? I mean, I'm not the only one.
I think you're the key to helping them.
Those smiles. I've seen that before. It's him. The Joker.
We'll find a cure, Henry.
We're in danger, Batman. You can't risk that kind of evil escaping into the world. You should kill them. All of them. It's the only way to be sure.
That's all for now, Henry. Interview over.
Mrs. Q, this is Mr. J. Come in. Over.
Read me loud and clear, Mr. J.
My infiltration remains utterly flawless. Operation Pudding Break is a go.
Yippee! How are my babies?
They're in rude health, my dear. All dying to meet Mommy. Now, you remember the plan, don't you?
Yeah. I don't really want to hit you over the head, though. It's gonna hurt.
We've been over this, my little knuckle duster. It's the only way to convince Batman to be trusted. You do want to kill him, don't you?
Yeah. Okay.
Ooh, after that. Bird Boy's coming. See you soon. Mr. J, over and out.
And that's the setup for the Harley Quinn stuff. Moving right along to none other than Henry Adams. Real name, Henry Adams. Occupation, principal/teacher. Based in Gotham City. Eye color blue. Hair color white, formerly blonde. Height 5 feet 9 inches. Weight 160 pounds. First appearance, Batman Arkham Knight, June 2015. Highly respected principal of the esteemed Malcolm Academy, Henry Adams was exposed to Joker's blood during a routine treatment at Gotham's General. Displaying none of the symptoms experienced by the other victims, Henry's immunity could be the key to developing a cure. Through intentionally cooperating, Henry's patience is wearing thin, and he's desperate to return home to his family. Principal to the McCallum Academy, Professor of Biology. Moving on to none other than Hush. Real name, Thomas Tommy Elliott. Occupation, surgeon/serial killer. Based in Gotham City. Eye color blue, formerly brown. Hair color black, formerly reddish brown. Height 6 feet 2 inches. Weight 210 pounds. First appearance, Batman 609, January 2003. Tommy Elliott and Bruce Wayne were childhood friends and unknown to Bruce, dark reflections of each other. After a tragic accident claimed one of his parents, the traumatized Tommy developed a pathological hatred for the Waynes. An incredibly gifted surgeon as an adult, Ellie spent decades planning an elaborate revenge scheme to destroy Bruce Wayne. Yeah. Peak physical conditioning, world-class surgeon, master of disguise, determined to destroy Bruce Wayne. Move along to Jack Ryder. Thank God he doesn't have interview tapes. Real name, Jack Ryder. Occupation, investigative reporter. Based in Gotham City. Eye color blue, hair color black, height 6 feet, weight 194 pounds. First appearance, Showcase number 73, March 1968. Jack Ryder is an investigative reporter turned controversial talk show host, well known for his aggressive manner and his relentless determination to get to the truth. Following his brush with the deaf in Arkham City, Ryder rose a series of industrial condemning the facility. By his own admins, Ryder's testimony proved influently at the state's decision to realize a number of facially imprisoned inmates, many of whom received substantial compassion packages. And of course, determined reporter, known for his aggressive pursuit of stories, famous for the controversial talk show, and ultimately lacking his self-awareness. They got rid of the creeper stuff though. Jason Todd, real name Jason Todd. You might as well just call him Robin, formerly Robin. Occupation, crime fighter, deceased. Based in Gotham City. Eye color blue, hair color black, height 6 feet, weight 200 pounds. First appearance, Batman number 357, June 1983. Raised in the slums of Gotham City, Jason was the son of a petty criminal and drug-addicted mother. When his father was in prison and his mother died, Jason found himself struggling to survive, stealing car parts for cash. This led to Batman discovering Jason in the alleyway, trying to steal the tires of the Batmobile. Batman took him in and trained him to replace Dick Grayson as Robin. While Jason didn't share Dick's cheerful enthusiasm and acrobatic abilities, life in the streets made him tough and fiercely driven. Frustrated at Batman's unwillingness to kill the Joker, in spite of his heinous crimes, Jason set out to do it himself, only to get himself captured, tortured and killed by the Clown Prince, leaving Batman riddled with guilt. Alright, moving right along. Exponential of martial arts, proficiency, detective capabilities, explosive temper. Moving along to none other than Johnny Charisma. Real name, Jonathan Brown. Occupation, singer. Based in Gotham City. Eye color green, hair color brown. Height 5 feet 10 inches. Weight 172 pounds. Yes, weight. First appearance, Batman Arkham Knight, June 2015. Jonathan Brown, aka Johnny Charisma, made a name for himself as the carpet circuit on the carpet circuit before hitting the big time when he was discovered by a national talent show. Charisma is no stranger to controversy with a string of drug offences and DUI, but his assault on a groupie was uncharacteristically violent. Since his infection, Charisma has been displaying signs of the megalomania with his behavior, echoing the sadistic omenship of the Joker. Yeah, he does show that side. So you've got like the psychopath, this one's the showman, I guess you want to say, where he puts on a show, and then you've got the final one who is like the mentally crazed with the Batman. Trained vocalist, narcissist, and baritone. Then of course we have the Joker himself. Real name unknown. Mind you, he does have two aliases. One in the Arkhamverse it's called Jack White, but it's probably his real name. Occupation, professional criminal, based in Gotham City, eye color green, hair color green, height 6 feet, weight 160 pounds, first appearance Batman #1, spring 1940. Batman's arch nemesis, the self-styled clown prince of crime, has the capacity for incredibly violence and penchant for creating deadly mayhem. In his death in Arkham City, resulting from an earlier Titan overdose, sent shockwaves through Gotham's underworld, with many holding Batman directly responsible. Despite his death, Joker's legacy lives on when it emerges that several people were exposed to his Titan-infected blood and are now displaying symptoms of the Joker-like personality. Moving on to the next part, attributes. Unrepentant homicidal maniac, surprising strong hand-to-hand combatant, unknown past, employs various deadly weapons, often based on party gag items, uses a fatal toxin that stretches victims' faces into a Joker-like grin. Interview tape.
2 years ago, I uncovered Joker's plot to unleash a genetically enhanced army on Gotham. The drug he used to modify his henchmen was called Titan. Before I could stop him, Joker ingested a massive dose of the Titan formula and mutated into a gigantic abomination. I managed to defeat him, but his overdose had devastating side effects. Joker was dying, and he needed a cure. To ensure my cooperation, he infected my blood with his own, leaving me no choice but to help him. But that wasn't all. He contaminated Gotham's blood banks, too. The result? The patient's currently quarantined here. Joker's mutated blood behaves like a prion infection, attacking the brain and transforming these people into him. Unless we find a way to reverse the process, no one will be able to stop what he has unleashed.
Moving right along to Kirk and Francine Langstrom. Right. Real name Kirk Langstrom / Francine Langstrom. Occupation biologist. Based in Gotham City. Eye color green / blue. Hair color gray / brown. Height 5 feet 9 inches. 5 feet 7 inches. Weight 170 pounds / 150 pounds. First appearance in Detective Comics number 400, June 1970, and level 1 Detective Comics number 402, August 1970. Moving right along, Kirk Langstrom and Francine Lee met as PhD students and would go into publish a joint research paper on the treatment of human illness via gene splicing across species. Gene splicing across species lines. Marrying soon after graduation, Kirk and Francine continued to work together despite struggles to find funding and widespread speculation of their hypothesis. In recent years, their work had become threatened by Kirk's encroaching hearing loss. Through the pair believe they have identified an opportunity in his diagnosis. Gifted research scientists, pioneering gene therapists, which is Kurt Lucius Fox. Real name Lucius Fox, CEO of Wayne Enterprises, based in Blair Brown, hair color black, height 5 feet 9 inches, weight 195 pounds. First appearance Batman 307, January 1979. Current CEO and president of Wayne Enterprises, Lucius Fox is sought after a businessman sought after businessman all over the corporate world and one of Bruce Wayne's closest allies. Fox is a shrewd and experienced businessman, entrepreneur and inventor. Aside from running Wayne Enterprises and the Wayne Foundation, Fox also takes pride in developing weapons, gadgets, vehicles, and armor for Bruce Wayne's alter ego Batman. His latest contributions to the Dark Knight's arsenal includes the new Batmobile, a whole suite of new upgrade gadgets. So it's thanks to him that we've got all this cool new tech. Incredible business acumen, inventor and entrepreneur, warm, friendly, intensely loyal. Moving right along to Man-Bat. Real name, Dr. Kirk Langstrom, occupation scientist based in Gotham City, eye color grey, hair color white, height 6 feet 5 inches, weight 265 pounds, first appearance Detective Comics number 400, June 1970. Moving right along, a gifted scientist diagnosed with a rare condition and causing chromatic deafness. Kirk Langstrom went to extreme lengths to develop a cure. Splicing the DNA with that of a vampire bat transformed Kirk into a hideous monstrosity known as the Man-Bat. After inadvertently killing his wife Francine, Kirk embarked on a deadly rampage across Gotham before he was captured and cured of his affliction. Superhuman strength and agility, highly acute hearing, and natural sonar. Moving right along to the Waynes, Thomas and Martha. Real name, Thomas Wayne and Martha Wayne. Occupation, physician/philanthropist. Based in Gotham City, eye color blues, hair color brown/light brown, 6 feet 2 inches, and of course the other one is 5 feet 10 inches, weight 195 pounds, and the other one is 140 pounds. And first appearance Detective Comics number 33, number 939. Heir to the Wayne or the family fortune, Thomas also inherited the family sense of duty towards the city of Gotham. Unlike earlier Waynes, however, Thomas was adamant in the pursuit of a career of his own, working as a surgeon at Gotham General Hospital. Martha Wayne, née Kane, administrated the Wayne family charities and foundations in his stead, spread healing campaigns to solve Gotham's homelessness and poverty problems. Their joint murder behind Gotham's Monarch Theatre shocked Gotham, scared the young Bruce Wayne, and would eventually lead to the formality of his Batman identity. Vast wealth, strong sense of civic duty. Moving right along, if I can find it. Nightwing. Alright, real name Dick Grayson. Occupation crime fighter based in Bloodhaven. Eye color blue, hair color black, height 6 feet, weight 180 pounds. First appearance Tales of the Teen Titans number 44 in 1984. Moving right along, the youngest of the family of the acrobats known as the Flying Graysons, Dick Grayson watched his parents die at the hands of a mafia boss exporting money from the circus. Bruce Wayne adopted the young orphan as his heart subsequently trained him to become the crime fighter partner known as Robin. Determined to prove himself and growing weary of living in Batman's shadow, Grayson moved to Bloodhaven to fight crime under his new name Nightwing. Trained to fight crime by Batman, skilled acrobat and master martial artist. Oracle, moving right along. Real name Barbara Gordon, occupation information broker, based in Gotham City, eye color blue, hair color red, height 5 feet 11 inches, weight 126 pounds. First appearance Suicide Squad number 23, January 1989. That is definitely the date of Oracle, not Batgirl. The daughter of Gotham City's police commissioner James W. Gordon, Barbara Gordon fought crime alongside Batman as Batgirl until she was paralyzed from the Barbara Gordon fought crime with Batman as Batgirl, until she was paralyzed from the waist down and confined to a wheelchair. Barbara has since adopted the new identity of Oracle and now supports Batman with her computer expertise, providing him with a constant stream of information in the field to his battle against crime. Editing memory recall of everything she sees and reads. Extensive headquarters in Gotham City's clock tower. High-level hacking and computer skills. Remains skilled with eskrima sticks and batarangs. Is it Eskrima sticks? Eskrima sticks. Yeah. Moving right along to Penguin. And we got interview tapes for him. Real name, Oswald Chesterfield Cobblepot. Occupation, black market racketeer. Based in Gotham City, eye colour blue, hair colour black. Height 4 feet 10 inches, weight 175 pounds. First appearance to Comics number 58, December 1941. Right, moving right along. The Penguin is an eccentric criminal mastermind known for his shady business dealings. Born in the wealthy Cobblepot family, Oswald was sent overseas for a school as a boy. When his family hit hard times, Cobblepot immersed himself in a criminal education on the streets of London. Years later, he re-emerged as the Penguin, a black market arms dealer in Gotham, facilitating the illegal financial activities that fund much of the city's underworld. Since his humiliating defeat in Arkham City, Penguin has resurfaced, supplying arms in Gotham City's occupying forces via a front company called North Refrigeration. Criminal and financial mastermind, expert to hand-to-hand combatant, mercilessly cruel, various underworld connections, yeah. Interview tapes.
Keep that smoke out of my face, little man.
What's the matter, Harv? Burning smell bring back some bad memories.
You're a real couple of bozos, you know that?
Enough.
Well, about time you showed your face.
Yeah, what's left of it?
What's the deal, Crane? Why are we here? Because you share something. A fear that strikes at you from the shadow, hunts you, keeps you afraid of the dark.
Yeah, we all fear Batman. Tell us something we don't know.
Like how we kill him. That's my job.
This cocky gobshite is the first bat fanatic to muscle in on our turf. I'd sooner piss on him than trust him.
The coin. Give him a chance.
Not the stinking coin. When I make a deal, I like to look a man in the eye.
Did you bring a footstool?
Yeah, real funny, Harv. You keep talking like that, and Scarecrow's little ceasefire ain't gonna happen.
Let this Arkham Knight run his army. Leave him and Scarecrow to chase the bat. We can take care of ourselves.
I'm having nothing to do with your bad job. Aside from my cut, of course.
You just make sure our men are armed and their guns are loaded.
Oh, don't you worry, Harv. The guns will be loaded. Every bleeding second of this truth. Look at you. Getting claret everywhere. Looks like you've done 10,000 crunches. Oh, my arm. I think it's broken. This had better be good, otherwise I'll give you a matching pair. What happened?
We got to the docks, like you said.
Harvey's men.
They had the same idea as us.
Someone warned them, didn't they? You dirty, filthy crap.
Boss, please! Someone got the drop on all of them. They killed everyone.
What?
He went through us like we weren't there. I never seen anything like it.
The Arkham Knight.
He had a gun in my mouth. He said, this is a family now. We all gotta get along. And he said, you better know your place.
Cheeky bastard.
Hey, don't shoot the messenger, right, boss?
Nah. I can break his bloody arms out.
Alright, that's done. And that is the Penguin. Moving right along to none other than Poison Ivy. Real name, Pamela Lillian Isley. Occupation, professional criminal based in Gotham City. Eye color green, hair color red. Height 5 feet 8 inches. Weight 115 pounds. First appearance, Batman number 181, June 1966. Botanist Pamela Isley was transformed by a science experiment gone wrong into a plant-human hybrid with chlorophyll flowing through her veins instead of blood. She developed a toxic touch and a pheromone fluid talent for seduction. Her unique brand of ecotourism often puts her into conflict with Batman, whose iron will usually protects him from her seductive powers. She was recently captured by Nightwing and imprisoned in Bloodhaven until Harley Quinn stayed in until Harley Quinn staged an audacious breakout. Yeah, because she's the one who broke her out. Able to direct the growth of plant life again. Oh my god, I just realized something. Harley's the one who always breaks Poison Ivy out. If you've watched the Batman animated series, they have a good friendship. Able to direct the growth of all plant life plant gene mixed with her DNA, exuded natural pheromones that control victims' skin, secretes and deadly toxin, pathological drive to protect nature from humanity. Moving on to Professor Pig. Real name Laszlo Valentin, occupation circus boss, based in Circus of Strange, eye color blue, hair color black, height 6 feet 1 inch, weight 220 pounds. First appearance Batman number 666, July 2007. Laszlo Valentin was a gifted scientist who suffered a schizophrenic break, causing him to develop a deranged new persona named Professor Pig. Pig brought on the Circus of Strange and began torturing the country, leaving a string of mysterious missing persons cases in his wake. An obsessive perfectionist, Pig uses identity destroying drugs and invasive surgery on his victims to create genderless, lobotomized humans known as Dolatrons. Gifted scientist and chemist, obsessive perfectionist, skilled knife thrower, amateur opera singer.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the Circus of Strange coming to a town near you. Never before has such a host of talented performers gathered in one place to amaze and entertain. He is founded by Big Top. Is it a man? Is it a woman? Who knows? I guarantee it's the most gigantically grotesque assortment of flesh you have ever seen. Be dumbfounded by the acrobatic oddity that is fire. Stare open mouths, just come join triplet who defy the limits of the human body and its imagination. And last but by no means least, be stunned and horrified by the combustible wonder that is phosphorus crack. Oh, you're gonna see it to believe it. Come and join us, and you'll never look at the world the same way again.
Yamaha, my dearest son. Oh, my perfect child. I make these recordings so that you are not alone. So that you know Daddy loves his son. Daddy loves his little pig. The circus has traveled far, and we have brought joy to many sad people. They join us now like a big family, growing week by week. Now they feel no pain. They know nothing of misery. I call them my Dolatron. To each new home we move at night, find the patch of earth to inhabit. Secret places in forgotten parts of town, ugly wastelands, where the locals tumble unawares into our candy-striped head. The Dolatrons are the first to greet them with open arms and the climax of the show is when I take them to see Mother. Oh, I tell you, they are amazed by my imagination, confounded by my dexterity, as each is transformed into a beautiful work of art. But Mother is hard to please. She wants more, always more, never satisfied, always driving me to work harder to obtain perfection. And I will. Night has drawn its curtain yet again, and the circus moves on, our numbers swollen to a different patch of earth. On the dark horizon, the building tops glimmer, the heat and smog of industry shrouds a den of criminals and beasts. Gotham is her name. Yamash, I tell you, the circus has come home.
That was a damn long one.
My dear Yamash, it is time you learned the truth about your mother, your real mother. I remember not her name or how she found me, wallowing in that pit of despair. Oh, like an angel, she swept into my turvy world, dragged me, screaming from shapeless chaos and wrapped me in her arms. She was a beauty, Yellow, a masterpiece, perfect in every way. Until Mother Goat found her. Imagine my horror when I emerged from that dreamy soup and discovered what she'd done. Placentae, cork-on smiles, ribbons of fractured flesh. Oh, the nails had done their work. But by then my seed was already sown. Your life already begun. Mother would have killed you both had I not stopped her. Saved you from her rage. Day and night I worked, month after month, sculpting her loathsome clay to recapture the beauty that faded to me that night. The night of your creation. She clung to me as you grew, as I toiled to make her right again. But nothing pleased Mother Goat! Nothing. I did all I could to fix her, to make her perfect. And by the time you came along, I couldn't even look upon that spoiled canvas of her face. I couldn't let that be the face that greeted you in this world. I had to end it, Yellow. For you. For Mother. She left me no choice.
Again, that was a really long one. Moving right along now to Red Hood. Alright, real name Jason Todd, occupation Vigilante, based in Gotham City, eye color blue, hair color black, height 6 feet, weight 200 pounds, first appearance Batman number 625, February 2005. Since vanquishing the Arkham Knight persona, Todd was able to lay his vacancy against Batman to rest and begin to heal the damage that was inflicted on him in the asylum. It was during this recovery that Red Hood was born. Now, while he was once again aligned with his former mentor in wanting to get rid of Gotham of the criminal confound it, Tom's willingness to kill will forever keep them at odds. Yeah, so he's still a killer. He's still on Batman's side, but he still thinks killing is the right choice. Expert marksman, martial arts master, driven by justice, willing to kill his enemies. Yeah. Next is the Riddler. I knew he's gonna have interview tapes. Good God. Now I think... I don't know. No, real name Eddie Nashton, aka Edward Enigma. Occupation, professional criminal, based in Gotham City, eye color blue. Hey, welcome to the live stream. I seem to have a message. I will check that as soon as I can. Where was I at? Eye color blue, hair color brown, 6 feet 1 inch, height 183 pounds. Weight 183 pounds. First appearance Detective Comics number 100. Pause. Weight 183 pounds. First appearance Detective Comics 140, October 1948. There we go. Sorry about that. This is a bit all over the place. Now let's check out what the comments have to say today. Alright, moving right along. You know, it's fun so far. Welcome, Jaden. I'll do what I can, mate. I can't make any promises though. With an obsessive compulsive need for attention, Edward Enigma is determined to be the cleverest of Gotham's criminals, plotting elaborate trails of clues and riddles around his crimes. Batman has proven a worthy opponent, capable of unveiling the Riddler's most intricate plans, but Enigma is dedicated to creating a mystery that will confound the Dark Knight, even if he has to kill someone to do it. Humiliated by Batman on Arkham Island and on Arkham City, Enigma is more determined than ever to make the Caped Crusader bow before his superior intellect. Genius intellect, driven to test others by leaving clues for his crimes, compulsive need for attention, and validation.
I thought it best we meet alone, Edward.
I know what you're doing, Crane. Talking to me away from Cobblepot and the others. You're appealing to my ego.
Is it working?
Ha! I don't have an ego, Crane. I'm far too brilliant. Especially for the likes of you.
Of course, Edward. But nonetheless, we have a mutual foe.
A foe I could vanquish with but one of my cerebral lobes intact. Yet here you are, proposing an alliance that would let you bask in my luminescent glory.
But what if you failed, Edward? What if, by some underhand means, of course, the Batman were to humiliate you again?
Absurd.
I know, Edward, it's a frightening thought. How many failures can even your enviable reputation withstand? But if the Bat were distracted and tugged in too many directions by too many threats, why, then you would be assured of the upper hand.
I don't know how to respond to your ridiculous insinuation, so all I will say is this. Tell me which day you plan to attack Gotham, and maybe, just maybe, if you're lucky, I will coincidentally put my entirely separate and superior master plan into effect.
How kind, Edward. I will keep my fingers crossed.
Who is this? Ah, Miss Kyle. You have the privilege of conversing with me, the Riddler, Gotham's premier supervillain and intellectual colossus.
And I'm honored, Eddie. Really. Bye.
Wait. I'll get to the point. I find myself in need of your unique skill set, your street smart, as your intellectually challenged kind adorably calls them.
I'm going to adorably hang up on you, Eddie.
No, listen. I need something acquired, something valuable.
Sorry, Eddie. It's just that I have all these clients who aren't insecure little power-mad man-children.
Fine. You may name your fee.
Information.
Ah, the most valuable commodity of all.
Scarecrow's planning something involving Batman.
I might be furnished with the absurd particulars of his ridiculous scheme.
I'll get you what you want, Eddie, if you tell me what I need to know.
Right, okay. Riddler bot memory formatted, adaptive AI algorithms uploaded, joints oiled. Now, give my creation life! Useless hunk of dead metal. You want to become a semi-automated theme park mannequin? Because that's the fate in store for you.
Problem, Eddie?
Ah, Miss Kyle, you're here.
And you already have company. Almost, anyway. Did you lose your friend's battery?
Why, yes, in a manner of speaking anyway. I'm depleted.
And always compensating for it, too.
Oh, Catwoman, your wit never ceases to occur. Now, I need you to procure a set of rechargeable energy cells for me. Stag Enterprises' Nimbus Tech will work. I'm sure Wayne Enterprises has an equivalent.
Got it. It's been a pleasure as always, Eddie. Except for the talking to you part.
Wait! At least take a glimpse at what it is you're supposed to be stealing. There, in the robot's chest cavity. Go on. It won't bite.
Eddie, what the hell? Eddie, make this thing let me go.
Batteries? You think I needed batteries? Oh, Miss Kyle, you underestimated my bespoke power supply innovations, and that was your downfall.
What is this, Eddie?
This is, you are, fate. You see, I've identified what I believe to be some sort of attachment between you and Batman. The base nature of this attachment, quite frankly, disgusts me. But it will bring him here.
You'll regret this.
The world's greatest detective does not frighten me.
He's not the reason you'll regret it.
And then, of course, Robin, Tim Drake. Real name, Tim Drake, occupation student, based in Gotham City, eye colour blue, hair colour black, height 6 feet, weight 189 pounds, first appearance Batman number 436, August 1989. We were very young. Tim Drake was in the audience the night the Flying Graysons were murdered, where he witnessed Batman leap to the scene. Inspired by Batman's heroics, Tim followed the chronicles of Batman and Robin, eventually deducing their secret identities using his self-taught detective skills. Tim convinced Bruce and Dick Grayson, now Nightwing, that a new Robin was needed in the never-ending battle for justice. Tested by the Dark Knight himself with grueling training regimen, Tim earned the title to become the new Robin, and has since lived up to his name. Yeah, he has lived up to the name of Robin. Keen detective skills, trained to fight crime by Batman, arsenal of gadgets and advanced technology, near genius level intellect. Moving along to Scarecrow. Real name Jonathan Crane, occupation criminal mastermind / psychiatrist, based in Gotham City, eye color blue, hair color brown, height 6 feet, weight 140 pounds, first appearance World's Finest #3, September 1941. The self-proclaimed master of fear, Dr. Jonathan Crane is an obsessive, deranged former psychiatrist who uses a combination of experimental drugs and psychological tactics to exploit his victims' fears and phobias. Prolonged exposure to his own toxins has rendered the Scarecrow unable to experience the fear he is so desperately craves. The only person who can still inflict terror from Scarecrow is Batman. Following his attacks on the Dark Knight in Arkham Asylum, Scarecrow was mauled by Killer Croc. Rumor has it he has since reconstructed his face to resemble his iconic mask. Really? Oh yeah, he sort of has, hasn't he? I thought it was bitten off, but if he's reconstructed the face to make it look like the scary mouth thing, while plotting his revenge against Batman and Gotham, and not Croc at all. Master of Fear, Professor of Psychology, and expert chemist.
You should invest in better guards, Crane. And you should invest in some manners. Who are you? Another pretender to the cow? Call me the Arkham Knight. Another child of the asylum set free. Tell me, what tortured soul cowers behind that mask? It doesn't matter who I am, I'm here because we want the same thing. Batman's dead. You made short work of my guard. The Batman is a very different proposition. One for which I
Yeah, that's why they don't get along, kind of. They have different ideologies. Simon Stagg. Real name, Simon Stagg, CEO of Stagg Enterprises. Central City, racing Central City. Eye color blue, hair color white. Height 5 feet 11 inches. Weight 170 pounds. First appearance, The Brave and the Bold, number 57, January 1965. A wealthy scientist, philanthropist, and entrepreneur, Simon Stagg is the founder of CEO of Stagg Enterprises, a company specializing in the advanced biomedical research. A self-proclaimed visionary, Stagg has been developed the clean energy solutions and revolutionary airborne inclusion technology on board the airship laboratories. In recent years, Stagg Enterprise has been accused of human rights violations in regards to medical testing on humans. Simon Stagg vehemently refuted the accusations, and his company was cleared of all charges. Cunning negotiator, sound business mind. Was he? Yeah, sound business mind.
Sorry. Dropped it. Sit her hand. Keep thinking someone's gonna barge through the door at any moment. The scotch probably didn't help. Oh, sorry. Forgot to introduce myself, didn't I? My name is Alex Vittoria. Dr. Alex Vittoria. And this? Well, I suppose this is my confession. 20 years ago, I went into business with my friend and business partner, Simon Stagg. It feels strange talking into this thing. I've never been one for the limelight. Never cared for attention. He was a businessman. I was a scientist. Stagg Enterprises was a fine name by me. And we did fine work, too. I want you to remember that. Whatever comes out. The cure for the Tubercular virus. That was us. The treatment for Collier syndrome. That was us, too. No. Not us. That was me. I never cared about the financials, of course. I never needed to. Don't you worry, Alex. Simon used to say, and I believed him. Right up to the day he told me there was a big, gaping hole where next year's budget was supposed to be. I wonder... Now, of course, if he was lying. I mean, I'd be blaming him. If he'd just come out and asked me, I'd probably have said no. I'm no bleeding heart, but if there'd been no need... Sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself, aren't I? Anti-anxiety meds, they rattled your brain. What I'm trying to say is that day, the day we ran out of money, that's when the weapons contract began. Hello? Yes, hello. I am in a better mood today. I've discovered a pharmaceutical cure for paranoia. You put the anti-anxiety pill straight into the whiskey bottle and you swirl it around. So now, where was I? Oh, yes! Chemical weapons, biological weapons. Oh, wonderful things. We went into business to save people, but it turns out that killing them pays better. Not well enough for Simon, though. That greedy, grasping parasite, that bastard! There are many buyers for this stuff. Not legal buyers, anyway, so you have to be competitive. But how can you do research quickly when human testing is illegal? Not to mention, like, threatening, dangerous, unethical, unfathomably risky. Well, it's obvious. You do human testing anyway. He never told me where they came from. Just that no one would miss them. You think I want forgiveness? You think this is some desperate mea culpa? I was raised Catholic, but I chose science over faith. It's not about me. It's pathetic, drunken confession. I struck my bargain. Let him threaten me into silence while I worked on my vaccine, my cure. So don't judge me, whoever you are. Whichever junior reporter at the Gotham Herald was lucky enough to press the play button on this device. No! This isn't about me. This is about him. He's gotten worse. We're a pharmaceutical company in name alone these days. It's all weapons. Some to the army, even more to the people the army's fighting. And now Scarecrow's here? I know what they're doing. They're taking my technology, my mass inoculation device, and they're turning it into something wicked, something wrong. Well, I won't let that happen. I won't turn a blind eye anymore. This obsession will be my epitaph. The proof that I was not content to waste the good I've done against evil done by him anymore. If you were listening to this,
Dr. Sartorius, Mr. Stagg would like a word.
And this is the final three. Batgirl. Real name Barbara Gordon. Occupation crime fighter, based in Gotham City. Eye color blue, hair color red. Height 5 feet 11 inches, weight 135 pounds. First appearance to Comics number 359, January 1967. With order of Gotham City's Police Commissioner James W. Gordon, Barbara Gordon was forbidden by her overprotective father for joining the GCPD. Instead, she took on the identity of Batgirl and was the crime-fighting partner of Batman for years, a career that ended tragically when the Joker shot her through the spine and confined her to a wheelchair. Expert martial artist, skilled detective, athletic memory recall of everything she sees and reads. Moving on to Two-Face, and then we got Vicky. So Two-Face, real name Harvey Dent, occupation professional criminal, based in Gotham City, eye color blue, hair color brown/grey, height 6 feet, weight 182 pounds, first appearance for Comics number 66, August 1942. District Attorney Harvey Dent was one of Batman's strongest allies in Gotham City until the criminal threw a acid in Dent's face, hideously scarring him. The wounds fractured his psyche and he was reborn Two-Face, a schizophrenic criminal mastermind obsessed with duality. His former good luck charm, a two-headed trick silver dollar, who damaged on one side in the attack, and Dent had seized onto it as a reflection on his half-scarred visage. He flips it to decide the fate of his victims. In the wake of Joker's death, Two-Face is rumored to be working alongside other supervillains to bring Gotham to its knees and destroy Batman once and for all. Hideously scarred on half the side of his face, extremely skilled with twin .45 semi-automatics, psychotic obsessive with duality and the number 2, differs its half-scarred coin in the choices of life or death. Final one is Vicky Vale, which should be really quick. Real name Vicky Vale, occupation investigative journalist, based in Gotham City, eye color blue, hair color blonde, height 5 feet 7 inches, weight 121 pounds. Batman first appearance, Batman number 49, October/November 1948. Investigative reporter Vicky Vale got her start at Gotham City's Gazette, where she quickly rose to fame to her unwavering commitment to rooting out the ugly truths behind Gotham's corruption and poverty. After her frontline news reporting style almost led her to her becoming a direct victim of Hugo Strange and the Arkham City conspiracy, Vale was relentless in bringing all living conspirators in scheme to justice. Undaunted by the near-death experience, her near-death experience, Vale remains fearless, dedicated to her work, and committed to the people of Gotham. Well, at least she's a good person overall. Hard-nosed reporting skills, Gotham's most trusted name in the news, fearless, skilled interviewer. And those are all of the interview tapes and stuff right there, you know. I think I did do okay with them, nothing terrible. But, you know, I think I did all well. Moving right along, we've got more reading to do with stories. Oh boy, this will be fun. Well, might as well get started with none other than the first one. Oh wait, don't tell me. Yep, 3 pages of it. Great. That's going to be a long stuff to do. Right, let's get down to it. It won't do itself. Faithful servant. Breakfast at Wayne Manor was served at 6 p.m. and and traditionally consisted of an egg white omelette, a pot of black coffee, and a pair of mild painkillers, served on a small silver dish to the side of a tray. Lately, Master Bruce has taken no leaving to the omelette. Today was no exception, Alfred noted, stepping out of his employer's bedroom, tray in hand. This was unlike Bruce Wayne, who would force down bloody slabs of meat when sick rather than risk the loss of muscle mass. Yeah, because he's on a strict diet for food supplies. But Master Bruce hadn't been himself since the Joker died. Alfred expected some change, naturally, but he had hoped his master might relax. Instead, Bruce had attacked Gotham's criminal population. His population, and with renewed intensity. When Alfred questioned him, Bruce had explained the necessity of striking, while the power armor key remained. Immensely sensible, yet Bruce's urgency seemed like that of a man running out of time. Alfred found Bruce in the Batcave, of course. Alfred suited sending revised specifications for Lucius for the new Batmobile. "Sir," Alfred ventured, "given that we have no pressing leads this evening, and sundown is not for another 45 minutes, I thought I might tempt you with what remains of your breakfast." 42 minutes. Bruce kept his eyes on the back computer screen. Alfred paused for a moment, wondering what possibly could have driven the man he raised to keep secrets from him for the first time in 30 years. "Very good, sir," Alfred said, before leaving the room. So yeah, we got that was a kind of interesting story about Alfred and his wondering for Bruce. This is Wonder Tower. Hugo Strange followed Ra's al Ghul out of the Wonder Tower's viewing platform. Arkham City gleamed beneath them, a peaceful patchwork of neon and steel. "How is our mayor?" Ra's inquired, tightly gripping the railing to steady himself. "Paling his part," Strange observed. "People seem quite conceived. It will be normally repugnant to a few, but even they cannot deny the impulse." Ra's closed his eyes to wipe the slate clean. Strange had noticed the subtle glints in his master's behavior. The professor had conducted enough experiments to recognize the symptoms of mental trauma, as well as when a patient was trying to mask its effects. I wish you would allow me to access the source of your power," Strange said, benignly. "I could help. It is here, isn't it? In the base of this tower." Ra's laughed, and suddenly Strange couldn't breathe. You think you see weakness?" Ra's squeezed. Strange felt his throat tightening, life ebboning away. "How wrong you are." Ra's released him, and Strange dropped to his knees, sucking in his air. Ra's walked back to the place overlooking the city. "We will rid Gotham of its vermin. Nothing can stop us." Strange massaged his neck. You think you will stand by idly while we murder thousands?" "Batman won't," Ra's replied, "but Bruce Wayne won't have any choice." Here we are with the next one, Graduation Angel. To find Batman, find the injustice. "Please, God, don't hurt me." The man in the suit backed away, tossing his wallet onto the ground. His attackers closed in. One of them scooped up the wallet and fingered the notes inside. "Jackpot!" The other cracked his knuckles and threw a punch, dropping the suit to his knees, holding his broken face. "Money won't save you, but he can." The ripple of taut fabric as a shadowy cape swooped down. He'll go for the sweep. The thug was busy counting when Batman took his legs. The wallet spun into the air as the sound of the skull cracking pinballed around the alleyway. The other thug turned and charged. His style had changed, less elaborate. Batman threw his arm into the swinging hook, popping his shoulder joint, striking the vulnerable areas. "End it fast." His fist slammed the thug's tattooed solar plexus, stopping his bloody like a bolt of electricity. The longer the fight, the more it hurts him. Batman stood over the unconscious men. He tilted back, eyes shut, breathing hard. How can he leave them? They don't deserve to live. Azrael looked down from the rooftop and studied the Batman for long enough. He knew what Gotham needed. Divine justice. Homecoming. 254 days, 17 hours and 9 minutes. It seemed like a lifetime, yet still he hungered. Every waking moment of the test of his life. He'd never truly be free from the cravings, but at least now he'd found a means to channel all the pain into something productive, something worthwhile. He returned to Santa Prisca, broken and desperate, still reeling from his run in with Batman in Arkham City. He was searching for solace, a fresh start, a means of making the nightmares stop. When he arrived in the slums of his homeland, he found a young boy bleeding out from a gunshot wound in the street, mother wailing by his side. Bane realized what he really drawn him back here. Beneath the veneer of luxury resorts and spas, Santa Prisca was a hotbed of corruption, ruled by the vicious cartels, drug lords, and amped up on venom, embroiled in a bloody turf war that had claimed countless innocent lives. I'm gonna probably have to reject that, you know. Okay, moving on to number 2. Bane had started from the bottom and worked his way up. Now as the sun bled out over the horizon, he admired the fruits of his labor. 12 severed head lines up on the beach of the various states of decay, the 12 most powerful drug lords on the island. His work was almost done. Just one target remained. Pena Dura, the stone fortress in which he'd been born, razed and forever corrupted. It was time to tear it all down. Moving on to the next one, the trap. 3 thugs, 1 hostage, easy. First, the guy with the gun. Barbara dropped behind the nearest of Joker's goons, crouched and launched herself back up. 1 escrima stick to the back of the knee to drop him. The other met the back of the skull on the way down. Next, the guy with the knife. He had the knife anyway. He had a broken wrist now, a wrist she caught between both her sticks and snapped when he lunged at her. She let the arm drop and swung her weapons back over the shoulders onto the head, and the sad clown makeup looked perfect as he fell to the floor. And now the mop-up. She dropped and swung a whipping kick to meet the last thug as he charged at her, sending him barreling into a wall. Easy. The hostage was crying, curled fetal with his back to her from the corner of the room. Odd for a police officer in Gotham. They usually seen worse. It's okay. Barbara took a step towards him. It's me, Batgirl. The sobbing got worse, louder, hysterical, and then Barbara froze. He wasn't crying at all. What's wrong? The officer crooned. Aren't you going to rescue me? Not exactly. Barbara's eyes scanned for the exits. Her feet took a fighting stance. Well then, said Joker, twisting around to face her until he was lounging in a blood-stained police officer's uniform on the side. Why don't you rescue Commissioner Gordon instead? And that's where you get the DLC, I think. Resolutions. January 1st. Happy New Year, diary. I feel melancholy. The old dates hold no magic worth anymore. My New Year's resolution to find new occasions to celebrate. January 21st. I feel reborn today. Today I celebrated National Hugging Day for the first time. I went to Elliott Memorial Hospital, converted myself into and converted myself in infected blood and visited the children's ward. February 2nd, happy Groundhog Day. My new house guest and I are going to watch the stream from Punctuania together. In the rodent predicts our early spring, I'll let my new friend go, but if the groundhog retreats to his burrow, I'll bury my guest alive. June 5th, World Environment Day, a worthy important cause. I passed this message onto a class of school children by forcing them to drink ACE chemicals runoff. They won't pollute now. September 19th, Dear Diary, happy International Talk Like a Pirate Day. Today I cut off a man's leg and nailed a wooden peg in its place. He couldn't walk the plank. Very disappointing. Checked on a scurvy victim, but she wasn't ready. Next year. September 21st, happy World Peace Day. I left bombs on the Crusade embassy. October 29th, Halloween tempts me. I promised Batman I would be present at his end, and All Hallows Eve is the perfect time to bid farewell to him. I will make him one exception in the year of alternate celebrations. October 31st. Damn Scarecrow. Yeah, because he did mark Batman's end is around October 31st. Right, moving on then. Poison Chalice. Crash lifted his frame photo out of the box and placed it into the desk. He still remembered the day he pinned it to the inside of the locker during his first shift at the asylum. It had been with him ever since. Nice looking family you got there, the sergeant remarked, but busily clearing out the previous owner's possessions from a drawer. Cash was close to telling him it was a lucky charm, but he knew the reaction he'd get. The kid didn't know how crazy things could get. He'd soon end up as superstitious as all the rest. Besides, something was telling Cash luck might not be worth a damn around here. He would be the 5th Stallion's supervisor in as many months. The others were all gone, assassinated. Cash knew he was putting himself in the crosshairs, tempting fate, but the commissioner had asked, and he couldn't refuse a friend. The sergeant finished packing the dead man's things just as Gordon arrived. Aaron, Jim said, offering his hand. Didn't think I'd see you tonight, Cash replied, shaking the commissioner's hand. Gordon always came down for this apartment. It was the introduction. Both men stepped out of the elevator and onto the roof. The bat signal illuminated the night sky. You know, Cash said, we have met already. I know, Gordon said, but it's a tradition. Just another word for superstition, Cash thought. On the prowl. Want to find a weak link in the security system? Look for the man with a gun, especially when they're new in town. Poor guy didn't even know the first rule of Gotham. Selina mused. The mantra thugs from the Bleak the manager thugs from Bleak to the Bowery drill into the new recruits. Always look up. Well, he'd know it now. Selina dragged his unconscious body behind a dumpster and slipped through a vent in Arkham Asylum's administrative building. She was late. The meeting had started. Ended maybe. Scarecrow's voice, sonorous yet raspy, carried along the vent like a snake slithering through dry grass. Another voice replied, young, angry, and disguised. Footsteps, then silence. Worthless. Silence. Selina needed more. Names. Details. A damn date. Batman was more inclined to ignore the occasional heist when she had information he needed, and besides, it was having fun having something to do, something to wield over him. Seeing the pained, pleading expression on Gotham's apex predator's face when they were alone, and she had the upper hand. She peeked through the vent. Scarecrow's office. No guards by the door. Good. Selena dropped down, twisting her body to land on all fours, and then an arc of electricity lashed out from the ceiling. Selena dodged it, and all reflexes saw the attacker floating above the vent. Since when did Scarecrow have security drones? Since when did Scarecrow have security drones? Darn it, Selena, she thought, plotting her exit over the sound of the alarm. Always look up. Alright, cargo. The dozing soldiers snapped awake, gripping their semi-automatic rifles, and flicked the staffites off. They weren't sure what it was they had them spooked. Trouble stemmed, perhaps. The unit commander and nodded towards the container, fingering poised. The metal box was taking up most of the airship's cargo hold. It must have weighed several tons, and wasn't including the trapped inside. The thing these men had spent several weeks trekking through the marshland on the outskirts of Gotham. Not everyone who started the mission had made it. Their ravaged bodies left behind unceremoniously. The mission didn't exist, and now neither did they. A plain-clothes agent was reading the file, holding a handkerchief to his face to try and stem the smell of rotting fish emanating from the container. He only knew the words, photographs, patient history. He wouldn't get to see the creature for real. A relief. The agent looked up and spotted panicked faces. These soldiers were tired and burnt out. The last thing they needed was any accidents. Easy, boys, he yelled over the engine roar, slapping the metal prison. He can't wake up for another month. Within the container, the tranquilizer had all but worn off. The operation membrane withdrew across the eye. The vertical slit-shaped pupils dedicated. Croc was awake and wanted off the airship. The Deacon's mission, or the mission if you prefer. Clark stood on the little aired sidewalk, looking up at the sign. Until now, the place had been a rumor, whispered in the dark. The Deacon's mission, by the sounds of it to you, had to take you to the bread with a little preaching. Take your bread with a little preaching. They could try, Clark thought. He wasn't that hungry. Inside, a couple dozen men had their heads down, following up tables and unstacking towers of chairs into rows. Clark spotted a large stainless steel pot. It led ajar, the slips puffing steam. He made straight for it, in the mouth hung open expectantly as he grabbed the lid. They wanted to clear the way. A hand fell on his shoulder and squeezed. But he told me you'd come. The voice had benevolence only a servant of God could muster. Clark turned around. The Deacon's greying hair and lined face betrayed a sneering reality. "I'd like something to eat, please, sir," Clark heard himself. The last and only person he addressed that was that way being his father. The Deacon's released his grip and proceeded to ladle hot soup into a bowl. "The Lord needs us strong," he proclaimed, passing it to Clark along with a spoon. The warm liquid snaked down his throat and coiled within his belly. It felt good, better than he expected. Clark went for another spoonful. Maybe he was that hungry after all. A Close Shot with Deadshot by Jack Ryder. "Are you ready, Jack?" Batman asked, looking straight at me, one eye filled with admiration, the other was respect. I'm ready, Batman, I replied bravely. Then let me do this, Jack, together. Then let's do this together. Batman asked. Batman said, asked really? The Dark Knight stood up from behind our cover then, as we prepared to take on the deadly assassin Deadshot together. Was I afraid? Dear reader, it's a fake story. Dear reader, I was terrified, but I couldn't let it show. Batman needed me. When I saw it, the laser sight playing like a lover's tongue across the nibble. Batman, no! I shouted dramatically. I dived forwards, then knocked the Cape Crusader to the ground. As the bullet whizzed past my ear, Batman was back on his feet. And in the instant, however, he grabbed me and pulled us both to cover behind a chimney chute in the bomb's ruin of Arkham City. What now, Jack? Batman asked, his voice crackling slightly under the strain. I thought for a moment. You need to hide behind cover whenever he's looking in our direction, Batman, I explained potentially, and then try and reach the vent under the helipad. Batman looked at the distance between him and the sharpshooter marksman. You can do it, Batman, I said reluctantly. I know you can. So basically he's taking credit for Deadshot's demise. Next is contingency. Slade pushed the hunting knife along the whetstone, the smooth scrape of steel and undisclosing the live combat feed. The last Cobra was offline with a burst of radio interference. Slade shook his head. Damn amateurs! A surveillance drone was circling above Bleak Island, relaying the battle below. The Knight was protecting the cloudburst and failing. Batman had just taken apart his support. Now it was just the two of them left. Slade glanced at the monitor, their heat signatures stalking each other through the city streets. He ran to his thumb along the blade, still dull. This was torture forced to watch it from a Mobile command center. The Ace Chemicals siege, the occupation, everything. Batman had taken out on an entire army and was winning. Slade didn't belong here, observing. It was like watching someone play a video game badly, itching to pick up the controller. Contingency, it wasn't his style. He was better than that, but Scarecrow knew just how to sell it. He promised the soldier to end those nightmares. The fear that made his hand tremble. Revenge. That is what you seek, and I can give it to you. The Knight's tank took a strike. Systems critical. A plume of white static erupted on the screen. No one was making it out of that thing alive. Seconds later, the radio crackled. Is it time? Scarecrow announced. Batman is yours. Slade tested his blade. It was sharp enough now. Burn notice. Linz took a generous swig from the hip flask, then pushed through the heavy oak doors into Tommaso Panesius' office. His boss' plump red face and explanted waistline betrayed the fact that he was bankrupt, financially as well as morally. Linz shrunk into a chair at Panacea, dispensed with small talk, then began to justify the unceremoniously firing of his lowly FX artist. Despite critical acclaim, the Inferno had recovered less than a quarter of its inflated budget. In the 6 months since its release, such a high-profile failure, combined with increased attention from the IRS, meant that laundering millions of dollars of mob money through the Panacea Studios was no longer a viable business plan. I always liked you, Linz, he said, like a veterinarian comforting an animal before pushing the plunger on a lethal injection. But the industry's different now. As a studio, we need to adapt or perish, and that means making some tough decisions. Garfield declined the profiling cigar with a wave of his hand. He felt sick in watching the greasy old bastard wrap his lips around a wad of dried leaves that cost 3 times his monthly salary. I'm sure a man of your intelligence knew this day would come, Garfield. I'm sure you were prepared for every eventuality. Linz was prepared for all right. He struck a match off the solid oak table and held it up to the light the man's cigar. He met his boss's gaze for the last time, then exhaled a mouthful of nitroglycerine through the dancing flame. Yeah, he basically killed him. Frozen out. Wrapped in cold, Nora slumbered deep in slumber. Norma dreamed. She dreamt of Victor, of the man he was, and of the man she knew he'd become. He heard him sometimes, his new metallic voice piercing through the frozen veil of her sleep like an ice pick. She heard his curses, his muttered threats, and when whatever new therapy he was working on failed, when cells refused to divide a lineup on like soldiers on parade, when carefully authored mutations lay stubbornly dormant in unresponsive genes, she heard his harsh, anguished screams. It had been gradual, the flooring of consciousness back into something alive, something that followed quickly, liquidly, from dream to memory, and could even snatch it in traces of the outside world. She was trapped, imprisoned in frozen flesh, but not afraid. Fear seemed impossible for her cool brain, but there was a kind of freedom in this new existence, freedom from the hunting tracked body she'd left behind. This will work, Nora, this will work. Victor talked her to the most days, worked through scientific problems as if it was his lab assistant. Yeah. Professed his love, reminiscent above the early months of their marriage, but the memories were distant now. Nora knew the details became vaguer every time. She wasn't just a frozen body. Nora had long realized she was an idolized memory, frozen in time. Was this love? Victor said he could save her, but every second's passing drew them further apart. No, Nora remembered love. Love was warm. Fallout. Your Honor, Gordon shouted, this man's insane. For the last time, Commissioner, we are not here to discuss the prisoner's state of mind. Judge Wessel looked across at Gordon from the parole board panel. A look Jim had seen a dozen times in his morning. Please, Wessel's watery eyes were swaying. Don't make this harder than it is. Gordon shot a more insistent look back. To his left, the prisoner started talking again. Come now, Your Honor. As slanderous as the Commissioner's comments are, he's only expressing the frustration at the partial nature of this so-called legal proceeding. Perhaps he doesn't understand that his presence is merely for appearance sake. Your decorative detective, Riddler concluded, flashing Jim a smug smile. Gordon understood all right. Thousands of prisoners, all held illegally, and then nearly murdered by Hugo Strange. The inevitable class action lawsuit had left his tedious, soul-sapping exercise in his wake. Hundreds of parole hearings that only went on one way. The prisoner got their freedom back and got a signed declaration that the offender promised to be on their best behavior from here on in. Now, Riddler continued, given that our poor Commissioner must endure several hundred more of these hearings, why don't you spare us the tedium of forcing him to reiterate the state's legally soiled case against me, and simply grant me the freedom to which I'm entitled? The entire parole board's buttering indignantly. Man got a point. Gordon conceded as he walked out the door. Power play. No more of the grief crap for Scratch. 6 months since Joker died. Time Harley moved on. And if she couldn't move on, well, it's time to get the gang did. Scratch the smart. Everybody said it. And he had a plan. Harley had one of her freaky Joker statues. The ones with a television set on the shoulders in her room. Every night she kissed the creepy video reel on his face goodnight, right on the greening lips. Scratching was gonna put a bomb inside it. Scratch was gonna put a bomb inside it. Kill it. Oh, kill Harley and decapitate the whole boss too. Nothing says, but put Scratch in charge like that. Harley was out. Gang war with Penguin's crew. That's all they did these days, defend instead of expand. Scratch was gonna change that. He fought, slipping into her room. Red and black everywhere. The curtains, the carpet, the bed, like playing cards. Harley said when she handed out the new uniforms, clubs and hearts. Joker was in the corner, grinning at him. His eyes followed Scratch around the room, interrupted by occasional static. I dare you, they said, as Scratch crept up on the sliming ghost. Sorry, boss, he said, taking out on the screwdriver and the small explosive charge. But I've got to do this for the gang. Bad idea, Scratchy, Joker replied. Scratch froze, terrified. Bad idea, Scratchy, Joker said, same intonation as before. Bad idea, Scratchy. Scratch relaxed. He just cut it together, made it out of old tapes, but that meant the skull-cracking impact of Harley's baseball bat cut off the fort. Yep, she already knew what he was up to. Keep your friends close. Master Bruce, you have a visitor. Bruce looked up at his position, curled in the fatal ball on the window ledge. He had plenty of visitors since the death of his parents, and endless streams of grown-ups who suffocated him in kindness, patting him on the head and talking in soft, penetrating voices as sensitive spoken as normal volume might cause the poor little orphan to detonate like a bomb. They'd rather leave undisturbed than risk having diffused. This wasn't one of those people. This was Thomas Elliot. The blonde boy pushed past Alfred before Bruce could respond. He looked at Bruce and grinned. Thank you, Alfred, Bruce said, trying to sound formal in the comfort of his friend. Alfred coughed awkwardly before leaving the room. It was these moments when others were around that he and Bruce were still learning to navigate together. Alfred had reached for Bruce's hand at the funeral, only for the boy to snatch it away. Embarrassed, yet he refused to let go during the car ride home. We have to be kind to you, Tom. Army slumped casually down next to Bruce and fixed with him with an intense stare that mirrored Bruce's own. That's what Mrs. Hislop said at school. Everyone's being kind to me, Tommy. It's boring. Tommy thought about this. I wish my parents were dead, he said eventually. Then I'd be a billionaire like you. Bruce's stunned laughter echoed around the manor's empty rooms. Wallflower. Pamela stirred from her slumber and squinted at the lone orchid on her nightstand. Conventionally, wisdom says a glorosia could never survive in such dry, frigid conditions, just as the doctors had predicted she herself would wither and die within a month at her admittance to Seattle General's intentional care unit. It had been almost 6, and the flower was in full bloom, while Pamela had never felt stronger or more in tune with the world more in tune with the world around her. The orchid had been a gift from her mentor, Professor James Woodaroo, the man who professed his love for her when he left her to die from intoxicated aided cocktail of cytomycosis he'd forced her to ingest in the lab they had shared. Pamela's entire heartache seemed paltry in hindsight. She realized Woodaroo's parting gift was far greater than even he could have imagined. The York had spoken to her now of real whispers of a world beyond these sterlite walls, of a higher purpose, a new life. Pamela finds sleep when the door opened and the handsome specialist approached the bed to check on her. She thrust on an arm, gripping the back of his lips, necking with inhuman strength, and pulled him in close. The man was powerless to resist as she planted a deadly kiss on his lips. Timid wallflower Pamela Isley was no more. Poison ivy had arrived. Right, moving on to the next one, and we're halfway through. Alright. Just Jack. Jack Ryder's weekly column, only in the Herald. Hey there, Gotham. Jack's back. I know, it's been a while, but I've also been busy. Book deals, TV appearances, negotiations to syndicate the very columns. Those things take time. Jack fans too much time, actually, and the agents never call you back. So I decided to give up on them. Besides, I already had a starring role in the televisual event of the season. Yet that was my handsome face you saw sprouting from a emanation-tailored suit and giving evidence to the Arkham City Commission. And I just want to set the record straight. Yes, I said the Arkham City was illegal. Yes, I produced documentary evidence of prisoners being abused, degraded, forced to live in squalor, and nearly killed. And yes, I said that anyone exposed to such horrors should be released and generously compensated. But let's get one thing straight, Gotham. I was talking about me. I didn't need to see that scrap. I shouldn't have been here. I saw one guy eating his own arm, and when food supplies ran low, his arm ran. I mean, he didn't look like he was accustomed to Horst acoustic on the other side of the wall. But me, I dine well, Gotham, and I need a therapy after. So all you losers sending me hate mail, stop it. It's not my fault all the crooks got free. I just wanted Gotham to repay its debt to me, and I'm sure you do too. Justice for Jack Ryder. Jack Ryder Gate. The Fall. Batman was wrong. He'd always had been wrong about Joker. There was no madhouse qualified no prison secure enough. Jason knew that now. After what he'd seen tonight, little arms, little legs, little heads, cruelly mocking, sticking together. He'd come straight from the kin-hearted, followed a trail of innocent blood back to Arkham Asylum. Tracker switched off. Cal communications disabled. He was a ghost. Batman wouldn't find him until it was done. Weeping parents fighting over Patchwork's corpses. The sanitarium had been derailed for years, a burnt-out patch of dead earth on top of a forgotten warren of cells below. Good, Jason thought. He was already in the dirt. There was a moral line that Bruce had sworn never to cross. Jason would cross it for him. Jason had been watching a grief-stricken mother piece her son together when the Kindred speaker system came to life. No, Robin, he thought. Push it down. Jason pulled it back. The heavy iron doors that would have once led it a laundry chute and drooped into a dark. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall, Joker sang. It was a net Yeah, it was a net halfway down that caught him. It broke with his weight, sending him tumbling over the end of the chute and into the granite floor. Jason gritted his teeth, breathed through the then the first swing of the crowbar took out the two teeth. The second broke the ankle. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again, Joker was singing. And that's how Jason was beaten up like Joker. Fixation. I do not allow him visitors, Warden Sharp spluttered angrily as Batman walked past. It's not a social call. Inside the cell, harsh fluorescent bulbs bounced their lights off the dirty white padded walls. It's really you're here. The cell's straitjacket occupation flung himself from the corner of the room until he was slobbering, weeping in Batman's armored boots. I'm so glad it's you, Bats, Joker sobbed. They think I'm mad. Batman kicked upwards, flipping the maniac onto his back, and brought the foot back down onto pin him there. They're dead, all children. You've been locked up in here since Blackgate. Batman pushed down, ribs cracked. Tell me how. The sudden violence, the gradual sound of Batman's roar surprised them both. Batman backed up towards the door. A light sun freed. Joker rolled on the floor, hysterical. I knew it, he giggled. I knew you cared. Batman drew his cape around himself, pushed the anger, the sudden self-disgust back down. You got out, Joker. How? Maybe I'm mad, Joker scrambled backwards, leaned against the wall, because this is the first I'm hearing of it. He paused them and spoke them with slickened sincerity. I didn't kill your kiddies, and you need excuses to drop by. When Sharp returned with security, Joker was alone, grinning to ear. I'm in his head, Sharpie. Oh, that's when he was wearing that orange straight suit. I think that's what he was talking about. But falls down. Gotham's no kind of place to raise a child. There was Edeline's first words when he told her about the promotion and transfer to GCPD. To say the most and put a strain on their marriage would be an understatement. The few months were difficult, but gradually he'd established roots, made new friends, warmed to the life in the city. Commissioner Gordon had even promised to use his influence to secure their son Tyler a place in the McCallum Academy. Life was good. Then Arkham City happened. Ellen's doubts rescued. The honeymoon period was over. He convinced her to stick it for another year. If things didn't improve, they would move back to their family in Keystone. The promise was a gamble. He hated Keystone as much as he hated them in the laws, and at the time Gotham looked at like it was spiraling into the abyss. But now, 9 months on, as he stood on with the family among a throng of tourists on the Lady of Gotham's viewing platform, he was satisfied that the gamble had paid off. There was a different feel about Gotham's these days. Joker was dead. The nightmare of Arkham City was a distant memory, and the crime continued to fall. Across the water, amid the glittering lanterns of Chinatown, Halloween decorations were being hoisted high over the street. Dad, are you going to take me to the parade? Sorry, kiddo. Daddy had to work, but your mother will take you. Alright, honey? Ellen jabbed him to the ribs, smiling. Whatever you say, Officer Owens. That's Officer Owens, alright. Change of heart. More guns, Mr. Wayne, said Lucius, eyes eyeing the proposed suspections for the new Batmobile. They were in Lucius's office. Bruce's office, technically. For the Lucius spent most time here, Bruce had turned up dutifully. For the biannual old heads meeting at Wayne Tech, Lucius had watched Bruce work the room, smiling and shaking the hands of senior technicians, biochemists, engineers, software security experts, making just informed conversation with Lucius. Chief systems engineer to impress yet not shock her. Okay guys, I'll just stop it right there real quick because I need to do something and I'll be right back. I'll be at that paragraph after shock her. I'm back, so let's carry on. Where was I? Shock her. And then he and Bruce had retired here. Lucius doubted anyone else had noticed Wayne favoured the right leg as it recovered from whatever he'd subjected it to the night before. Can you do it? Bruce asked. All the easy charm from the meeting room was gone. It could seem like unfriendliness to casual observer of Lucius' thought, but it was the opposite. Bruce did his friends, the people he trusted, the honour of not pretending. Lucius smiled. It wouldn't be easy. Wayne Tech had been out of the arms industry for a while. Could claim the guns for testing materials when he made the order. He reasoned, and do all the prototyping alone. Why the change of heart, Mr. Wayne? Lucius, always the pragmatist, had long campaigned for the most offensively equipped Batmobile, just in case Bruce had resisted him until now. But ever since Joker died, his employer had been not aggressive exactly. Lucius couldn't quite identify the change. Just in case, Bruce said, as he left the room. So that's when he made a better Batmobile, or like a tougher one. Down the rabbit hole, the shears, chipped and rusted blades squeaked open, narrowly missing the neck as they collected as a soft clump of blonde hair. There, pretty. Don't move an inch. Those blooded daggers smite more of a pinch. In return, a whimper stifle beneath thick duct tape. Hatter's grubby fingers gripped and squirmed around the cutter's oversized ears, one to each hand, and squinting his tongue, curled up in concentration, a pile of butchered wigs lay tossed behind him. This was the last one, and it had to be a success. In for a penny, in for a pound. Let's hope it's just a hair that falls to the ground. Like a crocodile's bite, the shears clapped shut, followed by the thudded wobble of a stole as Hatter hobbled down onto the floor to gauge his work. Fabulous, what a win. Now for the hairs on your chinny chin chin. Hatter placed the shears down and picked up a cutthroat razor, dedicated fanning at the blade as he turned to face his terrified condition. Queen-like and flanked by a row of defiling mannequins, he couldn't get over how well the blue dress fit the man's slender frame. But then that was what he chose him. He'll do for now, Hatter thought, until someone better came along. Someone just like his Alice. Okay. White noise. Dr. Kirk Langstrom surveyed the miracle of evolution splayed out on the table before him. Des Mostis Rotomus, the common vampire bat. It was perhaps the most magnificent creature he'd ever studied up close, aside from Francine, of course. Langstrom dialed up the volume on the sound system and shut his eyes, letting Braham's The Sympathy swells in his ears. The music conjured memories of happier times with his beautiful wife, before the diagnosis, before the rot set in. The terraces had been subtle at first, like the low hum of a refrigerator in another room, a middle irritating whine he couldn't quite place ignore. As the weeks wore on, the noise grew overwhelming until Kirk could hear nothing else unless he concentrated hard enough. The doctor's words, however, had been loud and clear. Kirk's affliction was rare, chronic, and irreversible. The thought of never enjoying his favourite synthesis again was agonizing, but it was Francine's voice he could hear the most, the subtle infection she adopted when she teased him, and the way she laughed, as though the little girl inside her had never grown up. But Kirk wasn't prepared to let all of that go without a fight. He was a man of science, for Christ's sake, and the science wouldn't find a way. The answer, Kirk knew, was staring up at him from the decision table. Oh boy, so close. Bruce gripped his father's hand at the elevator. Rockstead skyward, confined spaces still made him anxious, but his father provided comfort, just as he did in all those nights. Bruce was waking screaming, paralyzed by fear, reliving the moment he found himself trapped inside the bank-gnat-infested cave beneath the grounds of the manor. He breathed a sigh of relief with the elevator finally slowed to a halt and the doors opened in Thomas Wayne's plush new office as the summit of Wayne Tower. "Take a look, son," his father said, leading Bruce to the vast windows overlooking Gotham's smoke-shrouding skyline. The boy pressed his palms against the gold glass. A felt dizziness rushed as he gazed down at the miniature city below. "Gotham's been good to us, Bruce, and we have a responsibility to giving something back. This tower is just the beginning of our legacy, a legacy I hope you'll continue long after I'm gone." Bruce looked up to meet his father's eyes. The thought of losing him had never crossed the young boy's mind, and suddenly Bruce was back in the cave, alone, the piercing screech of bats filling his ears. Prodigal. Nightwing grappled into the warehouse of roof and secretly himself into the darkness. He chased the truck here on foot, and was using a technique Bruce had taught him to control his breathing. A plume of steaming breath could easily give away his position to the guards by the skylight. No, that they sounded sounded very observant. "I hate this stinking place. Give me a Gotham any day," the first thug said. "Yeah, sooner we get back here the better," his buddy replied. Nightwing was well aware of his adopted city's shortcomings. He just didn't need to hear it from these goons. He considered taking them out sneakingly further to inside to do this clean. Still, no way we could get away with something like this with Batman around. Who we gonna worry about here? Nightwing? He's like baby Batman. Two electrified eskrima sticks. Eskrima sticks bounced up and struck the base of the both skulls, cutting their laughter short. Their nerve was a roar now as the they left the manor, Bruce had sent him away like a parent packing a teenage son off to college. He wasn't grown up yet, not in Bruce's eyes. Looking down through the angled glass, the sources of man were busy at work. Hundreds of crates, thousands of guns. The operation was bigger than he thought, and it was heading back to Gotham. You missed this one, Bruce. The college kid was going home. Masquerade. Screw Dad and screw Bruce Wayne. Barbara walked through the Wayne Manor, dropping the mask and cape from her masquerade ball outfit. She old and guessed the other people would have the bad idea too. Not that if it mattered whatever she wore, she'd still be 20 years younger than everybody here. Geez, she'd rather Dad started gating again and drag her to these things. At least she had her laptop, thank God. She needed an access point that wasn't buried beneath 15 layers of paranoid rich guy encryption. The library, maybe. Barbara pulled back the huge oak door and slipped into the room, set her computer on the desk, and damn it, we're not in a billionaire's, Bruce. Some of us need to check we haven't been outbid of that new pair of Eskrima sticks. In fact, Barbara decided, didn't rich guys like Wayne own people like her a little unauthorized net access from time to time? She used the program she'd written to track GCPD's network. The time that Dad left her sitting in the interview room during the bring your daughter to work day, it was fast. It found himself hidden networks too. Not that Bruce Wayne wouldn't need any of them. Huh? Was that entrance 6? The signal was strong, close by, even stronger than the library. Wireless, in fact. Well, the hell, Barbara thought, as she tore its defenses apart. She felt it before she heard anything, a cold gust of air, as the bookcase behind her disappeared. I think that's when she found that secret passage where she could put the Batgirl suit. Payback. Penguin yelped as his foot broke through a sudden floorboard. Moments later, one of his bodyguards burst into the room, brandishing a pistol. I heard a scream. He saw Penguin trying to excrement himself. "Boss, what's wrong? What does it look like?" The bodyguard scrambled to find the words. He hoped it wasn't a trick question. "Never mind," Penguin barked. "Just help me." Holstering his gun, the bodyguard heaved Penguin free and started crushing the watery pulp from his trousers. "Get out of it!" Penguin snapped, finding his balance up against the windowsill out there, looming above Gotham's latest monastery, Wayne Plaza. "This was my old man's study," Penguin proclaimed. It'd kill him if he had to see this poxy thing day and night. Cobblepot Manor had been direct for years, left to rot in Penguin's mind, just the way Bruce Wayne wanted it. A permanent reminder of defeat. Wow. The bodyguard was tugging a strip of wallpaper. "So I guess we wait for the competition, huh? No, not likely." Penguin scooted back to the broken floorboard, drooped to his knees, and plunged his arms into the hole. "You think I'm waiting around for the Gotham City to cough up? You've got another thing coming." With that, he pulled out a yellowing wad of paper, the deeds to a company operating out of Bloodhaven, North Refrigeration. Penguin pocketed his ace and lit his cigar. "Don't count the Cobblepots out yet, Mr. Wayne." Mr. O'Neill staggered into the spotlight alone, gripping a briefcase beyond the harsh lights of depths of the circus. Tent was a black void. He squinted, trying to focus. His sleep-deprived mind was playing tricks. He thought for a moment. He could see an audience. "Welcome," a voice boomed operatically. The spotlight shifted. There he was, the pig-masked man who'd summoned him, the professor, standing proudly against a small boy, behind a small boy, his blood-tinged fingers drumming those dedicated shoulders. A pained murmur sounded from the child, muffled through the pain in his white face mask, as the edge, a short line of weeping first flesh, its salted slug of a tongue rivering in the mouth slit. The horror wasn't unimaginable. It was there in front of him. In fact, just as he was a parent, this was his son, butchered and transformed. O'Neill's stomach imploded and bent him double wretch into the straw-begged ground. "Daddy's man is upset," whined the professor. "Daddy's man's not pleased with our work." He loosed a terrifying squeal. The young boy moaned like a busted instrument. "I've got money," O'Neill wiped the bile from his mouth, then popped the briefcase and threw it to the ground. Waves of green packed and tight. "Give me my son, please." The professor shook his head. "Not your son now. My Dollartron." Before O'Neill could fashion the meaning of the word, something caught his eye. In the void, they were being watched. Faces shuffled closer. Plain white masks, there were a dozen of them, encircled sons, mothers, fathers. One's like them. One's like him. Yeah, Professor Pig. Visiting hours. Prison. The irony wasn't lost on Quincy Sharp, but that didn't mean he appreciated it. Quincy cried in the on the hard, cramped bed of the small sterile cell lolling for splendor on the city hall. He wished his master was here. Dr. Hugo Strange had awoken Quincy, lifted him to a higher state of awareness, made him the mayor of Gotham. The therapy, the drugs, the loss of free will, a fair pitch of such a gift. In return, Quincy had defended Strange through both trials. Even now he clutched one Strange's remaining secrets, dear mementos of patriot friend. "It's okay, Quincy," he said. "Strange says, I'm here." "Hugo," Quincy asked, wiping his tears on the cheap Arkham City jumpsuit the guards made him wear. There he was, Dr. Hugo Strange, with his radiant white lab coat and parlant smile. "Quincy, my servant, my friend," Hugo said. "We don't have much time." Quincy was crying again with joy. How, master, did you... "Psychology, Quincy. Science. I'm a being of a suggestion, etched in your subconscious, but my living self. The therapy," Quincy realized, "the hypnosis, the drugs. Stay with me, master, please." Quincy tried to grab hold of a phantom hand. "I cannot," Strange said, looking benevolent down at Quincy, stroking his hair with a touch the prisoner couldn't feel. But there is one last service you can perform for me." "Anything, Hugo. Please remove the sheet from your bed, Quincy, and tighten the fixture on your ceiling." Wow, here you go. Quincy's dead. I think he asked him to kill him, probably, from that sentence. The demon's head. Awesome. The messenger dropped down onto the puddled street and stayed crutched in her hand and resting on the hilt of katana. Caution with innate, trained into every sinew fibre of her body, she waited for the drunken cobble to stagger past and approach her canvas's wall. A decaying poster, she uncuffled the steeling, held it in place. The small nozzle concealed in her wrist guard released a pressurized spray on the black paint. With a few waves of her hand, the image was complete. It would join the others. She had spent the night embolizing Gotham's walls. Most people would think it was just another work of art. They would know the war, or that rage, the war to bring him back, to rescue Ra's al Ghul. The air whistled. Instinct turned to her as the blade grazed skin and embedded itself in the center of the gripping insignia. The assassin stepped out of her throwing stance and drew a sword from her back. You're only defying the League of Assassins. The penalty is death. Whipping the blood from her cheek, the messenger faced her enemy. There is no league without him. That is the truth. Surveying the surroundings, the assassin approached. You will not find his body. What makes you think we're still looking? The messenger unsheathed his katana. The demon's head will live again. And that's when the war began, I'm guessing. Social outcast. Why do you attack Batman? He is based. You are a fat. Wow. Riddler deleted the email, and all the others like it. Prickly hot anger and shame skirmished through his insides. No point denying it. Crusader Gate had been a disastrous social media campaign. He couldn't understand it. It seemed the internet's idiotic and easily riled rabble could froth and itself into a full frat accusation of frenzy over white knights, but offer it a dark one up on a plate, and you get a soy later's worth of initiation of best. Didn't they understand what Batman has done? The memories rise up like bile. Riddler is back in Arkham City. Batman places an explosive hat, Riddler's own invention, on his head, forces him to mark an endless circles. One sec. There we go. And we are back. Where was I at? Oh, good God knows where. I'll see. Circles lest the devices detonates. It's hours before Riddler realizes the trick that the explosives have been diffused. Having borne witness to his shame, the computer was tainted now. Yet Riddler paused. He still had electrical burns from the last time he angrily ripped 128 gigs of RAM from a motherboard. His search for a hammer concluded when another email arrived. To the owner of Enigmatic Holdings Ltd, Gotham City Council hereby approves your purchases of a disguised sewerage and water processing facilities beneath the city. It began. For the first time in months, Edward smiled. Just 7 more to go. Critter. Roach wrenched against the resistance and watched the beetles skitter across Scarecrow's gloved hand. He wasn't sure what made him sicker. Scarecrow's creepier new face or the rotting of the damn cargo container they were hidden inside. Joker wouldn't find him surely. They couldn't have gone far from the steel mill. Fascinating creatures, aren't they? Scarecrow said. So small. Crane was holding a bug by one of its legs. Now as one of the 5 limbs scrambled at the air. A wave hit the boat and the boat thing swung back and forth. Things claws either. He dropped the bug to the floor. It scuttled towards the roach and was fought back to the urge to stamp onto it. He didn't want to look afraid. Do they want their predators to fall for it? Scarecrow asked, watching another insect creep across his palm to sink their teeth into the fragile shell. Scarecrow made a fist, crushing the insect in his hand. The beast that does so will regret it, Scarecrow explained, wiping the mashed up insect into a glass beaker. Not through sickness or death, he added chemicals to the beaker now, molding the mixture into a greenish-black sludgy cocktail, but through the hallucinations the creature's toxins discretion's cause, through the beating of their overworked heart, a radial coursing through the bloodstream, through fear. He turned to Roach now, the broker in one hand, a funnel in the other. My toxin failed me at Arkham. Together we will ensure that this will never happen again. So that's how he learns to perfect his toxin. Lab rat. Fear of fire. Pyrophobia, fear of fire. Some fears make some sense than others. Alex thought, crunching his eyes shut. Oh yeah, there was a rare white imp. I wonder if that's him. Crushing his eyes shut against the flames and retreating into the furthest corner of his cell. He read a case study once when he was sane, but about a man with a pharmacophobia, fear of the medicine. The poor man suffered from the epileptic seizures, and yet refused to take his pills. Madness counters intuition in mirroring self-preservation. Hello Arthur, welcome. We're just doing the bios, I'll carry on. Instinct rejecting the very things that perceived, but for fear of fire that made evolutionary sense. Alex comforted himself, picturing humanity's ancestors scattering across the veldt as flames licked dry grass. He wasn't mad, he was just too sensitive. His phobia was just awareness of the damage that the inferno rage in front of him could make to the dedicated tissues. If it was real, Simon had summoned it, Alex remembered, accused him of betrayal, and now here he was, a test subject, mere for the grinder, brain ain't matter for the fashioner, mere morph data for Stag. They stopped pumping toxin into his cell hours ago, but still the fires burned around him, a phantom wall of flame. Well, they strode on it, closing in. Alex Sartis screamed as the flames consumed him. The screams of terror, not pain to an outside observer. The result was slapstick. A white-coated scientist at the nothing, but all Alex could see was the flames eating his flesh, gnawing down to the bone. I wonder if he got turned to a monkey. That'd be awesome. Well, not awesome, but awesome in a creepy way. 5 more to go. Oh, good God. Zat hated Mondays. He'd been working the early shift at the morgue for all 3 weeks, and he was already starting to resemble the pallid corpse. The bourbon induced. The hangover certainly was helping his stomach, and had been growling all morning, and it was still an hour till lunch. His bowels lurched at the birth at the thought of another plate of slop from the commissary. Only this time the accompanying growl was deeper, more resonant from another place. He scanned from the room to the source. The stiffs sometimes realized pockets of gas when they started to decompose, pungent gifts from the afterlife, but the sound was different, almost like a word trying to be formed, trapped by the shuddering lips. It was coming from one of the new old storage units. These compartments were supposed to have locks, but this one had 4. They were usually the bigger either, and they certainly didn't have the Wayne Tech branding. The door swung open, plums of dry ice poured out around Zach's legs. As the lights flickered on, he could see the outline of a hulking corpse spread on the floor. It was inhumanly large and breathing. Bore. Zach slipped on the tiles and landed hard, sending his glasses skidding across the room. Feeling with his hands, he worked his way over to the huge slabs of cold muscle to the wrist. As the thigh, he whipped to the frost of the plastic ID tag and strained to see the name Solomon Grundy. Like the nursery rhyme, the body shifted its giant lump lungs filling with the ice-cold air. The voice was rough, guttily angry. Born on a Monday. So he is still alive. Ah boy, just 4 more to go. Office romance. Robin stood at Oracle's side. At Oracle's side as they watched the 3D model on an inconspicuous blood cell rotate on the back computer's monitor. He's still showing no symptoms, Oracle asked as she delved deeper into the cell structure. Cell was more intact, plasma healthy and clear. Nothing, Tim replied. Oracle glanced over her shoulder. Tim was staring straight ahead, arms folded, the muscle in his jaw flexed no smile. Not today. He was working hard, they both were. Gotham demanded everything on them every day. Come on, Mr. Adams, Oracle asked, fighting off a wave of exhaustion. What are you hiding? The protein channels, maybe. Leant to point in the image. When he drew his arm away, his hand grazed Barbara's neck. Barbara stopped typing, caught her breath. Tim went still. The moment drew itself out. Each second marked the clock tower's a mechanical heartbeat, and Tom turned away. We can't do this. Not again. I'm sorry, what did I miss? Okay, they are in a relationship. That's what I got. Hemitalically never was your strong suit, Drake. Barbara joked painfully, but M was already gone. She sat there wondering why he didn't come back, and why she didn't try and stop him, like he must have hoped she would. But why make things harder than they had to be? Gotham came first, the job. It's the choice they made. They could turn their backs on each other, but not on that. So there's the relationship thing. Bye, Jaden. Thanks for showing up. Taking out the trash. Garbage collectors on pipes sat in Hell's Gate's offices, holding these a second-hand uniform at arm's length like a new parent with their first dirty diaper UO completely. Surely about this, boss. We're sure. Dent growled from across the neck. Pipes didn't argue. It wasn't like nice Harvey speaking. You could tell after a while the way a group of school friends can tell the pair identically twins among them apart. It's not above the voice, not always. It's about the face. Which eye swings around the fastest to look at you? Which side of the mouth? The lantern jaw of the charred, twisted lips. The smile plays across the first. We need a front for the bank job, Dent said, and you owe us all for one. The compensation claims Arkham City had been corrupt as hell, sure, but Pipes runs in enough dirty cops for justice flowed one way in Gotham. Well, it doesn't have yet the best lawyer the city ever seen running your class action suit on behind the scenes. I get it, boss, I do, Pipes slammered. It's just Hell's Gate waste disposal and legal services, really? Dent leant forward. Pipes tried not to shudder as he weak skin peeled from the leather chair. Trust me, nice Harvey answered. They're one and the same in this town. Alright, next is Vicky Bale's Showtime. Live in 10, Vicky, our cameraman said. They had steps themselves. Huddles of reporters looked at their envelope and viciously over the police cordon. It was a technicality really, but as the material witness of Sharp's crimes, she'd given evidence at the courthouse that morning. She'd been impossible to get rid of her that. Showtime. Good evening, Gotham. I'm Vicky Vale. Behind me stands Solomon Wayne Courthouse, once part of the once part of Arkham City. Today, the venue of which the former Mayor Quincy Sharp was acquitted of his participation in that conspiracy. "I am vindicated," Sharp screamed, bursting out of the courthouse and onto a bombarded camera flashes. "It was Vicky," he honed in despite the lawyer's protests. "Please, with the not guilty verdict, Quincy," Vale asked, her voice level, calm, reporter tones. "Oh, I'm guilty," Sharp spluttered. "Oh, of maintaining order, punishing the guilty, winning the thankless of city of releaseness of vigilant justice." "What about the funneling of weapons in Arkham City?" Vale asked, on edge on her voice. "Now, weapons like the rocket launcher that killed my helicopter pilot and friend." "Unthinkable," Sharp said, "which is precisely why I was acquitted on that and all other charges. Your journalist objectively has me compromised by trauma, Miss Vale." "Are you sure, Quincy?" Vale asked, handing him a sheet of paper. "Because it looks like your signature on this requisition order." Sharp froze. The cameras kept flashing. We should have had said this in court, but it was her scoop after all, and that's how she got him. Last one, finally. That would be none other than the Scorch issue. Victor saved the familiar warmth of arterial blood and splashing his face as he eased another of Penguin's lacishes into oblivion. He wiped the blade on his victim's biker jacket, then his own forearm, for a clean lot of flesh, amid the latticing work of scars and fresh insuggestions. It had been an evidential night, and the blood loss was starting to drain Victor's energy. He planned to liberate just a handful of Penguin and Two-Face's men, leave the bodies in plain sight, and send a message to the Scarecrow, who seemed determined to exclude him from his plans. But when he was tailed for his first victim, felt the knife's cold steel, Victor knew he wouldn't be satisfied until he felled a dozen of more. Sirens howled in the distance, and Zaz looked up to see the sky illuminated by the symbol of the bat. Its aimed Scarecrow's Halloween festivities had already begun. Instinctively, Victor's fingers traced the smooth patch of skin he was revering especially. For Batman. Let Scarecrow have his fun tonight. He thought Batman would no doubt humiliate him and the others who'd followed his ferocious plan. Then Zaz would find him. That patch of skin would be smooth for long. And there we are, finally, guys, all of the Arkham stories. Yeah, so there are all the Arkham stories and everything right there. My voice is really tired, but luckily enough, we have two things left to do. First, we're going to go to Stag's airships. Now, first we're going to go to Stag's airships and see the airship thing he has. And then we'll go to GCPD and for the evidence, and we're done. Almost there now.
I knew Scarecrow didn't have what it takes. If you can't think like Joker or hit like Bane, what's the point taking on the bat?
He got the mask off.
Exactly. He cheated.
Alright. And there we are, we're finally back in. Wow, it's snowing inside. Now for these things.
The revised formula works perfectly. It passes through clothing and is readily absorbed through the skin and eyes. Useless. The results are horrifying. Combined with the cloudburst, the potential is world-changing and lucrative. Yet, Dr. Crane remains uninterested in commercial opportunities. He intends to squander our work, my work, on a vendetta. It's time to dissolve our partnership. I should leave Gotham before his return.
Actively research note. User ID. Status. Silent. September 3rd.
When Dr. Crane approached me, I thought the man had finally realized the value of his chemical expertise. But no, he's still scarecrow to the bone. The man invents a formula that could cure depression, turn an entire army upon itself, and he uses it to frighten people. Fine, Dr. Crane. I'll keep working on your cloudburst, but I'll keep working on your toxin as well. I'll show him there's money to be made here, one way or another.
Accessing research note. User ID. Status. Silent. September 20th.
Human testing has not been the breakthrough I hoped for. The cloudburst works perfectly, though I've temporarily obscured that fact from Dr. Crane. I must perfect his formula myself first.
Accessing research note. User ID. Status. Silent. October 2nd.
Patient number 4, 2 weeks after exposure. How are we today, Daniel? Daniel, would you like to go home? Mild terror, permanent damage. Not good enough.
Accessing research note. User ID. Status. Silent. October 14th.
Now we're getting somewhere. In fact, we've had to restrain the patient, haven't we, Mr. Huxley?
I'll kill you! I'll kill you all!
And final one. I think this is Alex probably, if not the monkey. Right, let's get out of here and we'll do the evidence room and we're done.
Identification confirmed. Good evening, Mrs. Banks.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. In Stag's blimp.
Good evening, Mrs. Banks.
Morning, this place is gonna have more plant life than a nature reserve. We'll be the endangered species.
Now for the final thing, the evidence room.
Taking that mask off was a big mistake.
We're going to the far wing first. Oh. There we go. And there's the first evidence stuff. Okay, moving on. Now we're going to the evidence room.
One giant-ass robot thing built by Edward Nygma, aka the Riddler. For Eddie, he builds a custom-designed Batman killing machine and still gets his ass handed to him. Not sure if that says more about Batman or Eddie. Well, this is some top-of-the-line gear used by the Arkham Knights militia. I don't know who's paying for this stuff, but they've got deep pockets. These boys are well equipped.
Now for the other so-called supervillains.
One hell of a lot of money, stolen from various Bank of Gotham branches across the city. I'll count this when I get time. One rocket launcher, acid damage coin, and twin semi-automatic handguns. Used by Harvey Dent, aka Two-Face. I hate booking in Harv. Guy's messed up, but you still see pieces of the man he used to be. And then he flips that coin and turns on you. One pig mask and butcher's knife. Used by Laszlo Valentine, aka Professor Pig. This guy's new. Mutilates his victims in order to make them perfect. I think I'm pretty enough already, thanks. One modified flare gun. One machine gun haphazardly duct-taped to a grenade launcher. And one good old-fashioned baseball bat. All used by Dr. Harleen Wenzel, aka Harley Quinn. Without Joker around, Harley took over the clown's old gang. It was never gonna last. One top hat and umbrella with, yep, a hidden blade inside. Owned by Oswald Cobblepot, aka the Penguin. God bless Penguin. Gotham changes. New freaks come and go. But you can always count on that vicious little cockney to be up to something. One energy cell, property of Stag Enterprises. You'd think Stag would have enough money not to strike deals with scum like Scarecrow. Well, not anymore. This won't be the only thing we confiscate from Stag Enterprises after tonight. One flamethrower jetpack? Worn by Garfield Lens, aka Firefly. Why can't Gotham have a normal pyromaniac, you know? Why does ours have to fly? One set of arm-mounted syringes, complete with fear toxin vials and fear toxin canisters, used by Dr. Jonathan Crane, aka the Scarecrow. Crane nearly turned Gotham City into a toxic wasteland tonight. All just to prove a point. Batman brought him in, like he always does. I just hope it was worth the price. One tactical bike, worn by Gotham's newest mystery man, the Arkham Knight. I think Batman knows more about this guy than he's letting on, but I'll ask him about it some other time.
Yeah, he does know more about him than he's letting on.
One vial of unknown chemical substance and one vampire bat, owned by Kirk Langstrom, a.k.a. What are we gonna call this guy? Batman's already taken. I guess this guy's more of a man-bat anyway. One sacrificial knife and prayer book, owned by Deacon Blackfire. This high priest of Crazy Town tried to kill reporter Jack Ryder. Just another religious nut complaining about media bias, I guess. One samurai sword used by Slade Wilson, a.k.a. Deathstroke. This guy's got connections. Last time the boys here threw him in a cell, some suits got him out within the week. One stuffed bear and a canister of Titan formula, owned by Bane, a.k.a. Unknown. We had to let Bane loose after the Arkham City fallout. Guy was messed up anyway. Serious Titan withdrawal. My guess, he's off somewhere getting clean, and he's not going to be happy when he comes back. One vial of Titan formula. One set of wind-up explosive false teeth. One pair of actual X-ray specs. One toy gun loaded with one toy flag and 5 real bullets. All used by the Joker. No known aliases. It's one hell of a toy box. I'm glad no one's gonna play with it again. One custom tailored top hat, worn by Jervis Tetch, a.k.a. the Mad Hatter. Guy's mad alright. He tried to brainwash Batman in Arkham City. He got the Wonderland kicked out of him instead. I hated letting him go. This guy's too creepy to stay free. A selection of body parts belonging to Warren White, a.k.a. the Great White Shark. White got himself sent to Arkham on an insanity plea. He lost a few things other than his mind while there. Made the new look work though, I gotta say. One freeze ray, used by Mr. Freeze, a.k.a. Victor Freeze. We, had to stop playing with this after the commissioner caught us making ice cream. Freeze has kept quiet since leaving Arkham City. Maybe Batman finally talked some sense into him. One ventriloquist dummy, a.k.a. Scarface. This ain't the original Scarface. It's a Joker knockoff. Don't ask me why, but the clown took a liking to these creepy things. One laughing gas grenade, one snare trap, and one baseball bat. All used by Dr. Harleen Quinzel, a.k.a. Harley Quinn, during a recent assault on the Bloodhaven police station. From what we gather, Scarecrow sent Harley to break out Poison Ivy from the lockup in Blood. One black mask worn by Black Mask, a.k.a. Roman Sionis. Sionis never really recovered from the night of the Black Gate riots, the night Joker showed up. Roman was an old-school gangster. Joker, well, I'm not sure what he was. One ceremonial sword owned by Talia al Ghul. Miss al Ghul was a wanted terrorist and an associate of her father, Raish. But Joker got to her before we did. From what I hear, Batman put this blade to good work after she died. One Tommy gun, used by Peyton Riley, a.k.a. the ventriloquist. Or maybe the gun belongs to the puppet. I never really understood what's going on there. One rifle and 2 wrist-mounted guns used by Floyd Lawton, a.k.a. Deadshot. Another guy we had to let go after Arkham City got shut down. Still, that doesn't mean he got his toys back. One Arkham Asylum branded shock collar, worn by Killer Croc, a.k.a. Waylon Jones. We found this thing in the sewers under Arkham City. And that ain't good, because it was supposed to keep that bastard under control. 2 ceremonial swords, used by Ra's al Ghul. We found these at the bottom of Wonder Tower the night of Protocol 10. They were covered in blood. No body, though. One pair of shock gloves, worn by the electrocutioner, a.k.a. Lester Buczynski. Joker hired this guy on the night of the Blackgate riots, and then he killed him. I heard Batman borrowed these for a while before handing them in. I guess he prefers beating up punks the old-fashioned way. One mask and jacket worn by Anarchy, a.k.a. Lonnie Machin. I wasn't even a cop when this kid tried to hit Gotham. No one's seen him since. No one knows where they're keeping him. I guess the government don't like anarchists too much. One electric charge gun used by Batman, a.k.a. We don't like to ask. Batman dropped this here with the rest of the Arkham City evidence. Nice to have some of Batman's gear in the evidence room. Hope he doesn't ask for it back.
And that, my friends, is all of the Batman tapes, rooms with the voice stuff, bios, stories, characters, all that stuff. Yep, everything's done. So guys, thank you so much guys for watching. Leave a like, comment, share, subscribe. If you managed to get through this entire massive video, put your hands together, claps and all that good stuff. But all that being said, this is the final Batman Arkham Knight video, and after this, well, I'll be moving on to the next big game focus will be back, of course, with Uncharted. But that won't happen until the remainder of Halloween, because that means Lego Marvel Superheroes 2 is the prime focus now of Halloween for good until Halloween ends. So there you go. Right. Alright then. That being said, guys, leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Hope you enjoyed Batman Arkham Knight. I had fun playing it. It was a great game. So next time, guys, I'll always say Happy Halloween, and always peace.